Losing track under the water, searching for something that I've been missing. Looking back when we were younger, heartbeats were rushing, blood always pumping. I drive away, leave it behind us, without a trace. Live for the day, dance in the moonlight. No one could say we didn't do it right. So far away, baby, I forgot to breathe. This town's got a hold on me. My mind is a casualty. Find me open spaces, static in my blood. Can you feel the flood? Yeah, I've seen enough. Find me open spaces. Open spaces. Find me open spaces. Open spaces. Feel the weight under the weather, counting the thunder, keeping me under. And if we break out from the tethers, fade into each other, into each other. I drive away, leave it behind us, without a trace. Live for the day, dance in the moonlight. No one could say we didn't do it right. So far away, baby, I forgot to breathe. This town's got a hold on me. My mind is a casualty. Find me open spaces, static in my blood. Can you feel the flood?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week of Collegiate Star League playoffs for CSGO. Here we have RIT and Toronto, and they'll be starting off here on Overpass. I'm joined with Sully, of course. Once again, an exciting matchup ahead of us.
Yeah, it should be a pretty nice matchup. Two of the best teams, and already kicking it off here in the pistol round. Roar finds an opening onto GW, but it looks like University of Toronto, they want to get right onto the B bomb site here, but Farrell does a phenomenal job of finding a second here. That puts them in a comfortable position here. The Tigers, they're looking to collapse here on the B bomb site, and it's just not going out, not panning the way Toronto would have liked, and it's just a clean round. One casualty, and it's just to a Molotov here. Farrell goes down, but again, a clean round overall for the Tigers, and they'll get themselves onto the board leading 1-0.
Absolutely. Storyline-wise, RIT, they've had two teams even. I think they might even have a B team as well this year, too, in Collegiate Star League. And they've been a big proponent of Collegiate CS for many, many years now. We've got, players that have played for a long time on their roster, like Farrell, for example, has been on this roster for a really long time. And they've been just doing a good job of continually breeding a good team every season. And so they'll start off with a great pistol win here on Overpass. As now Toronto is going to be looking to try to find some kind of entry into the A site, likely following this wide default. They did go for the force buy, which is an interesting decision given that they didn't get the bomb down.
Yeah, they force up these 5 deagles, so I'm not too sure what they want to do with it. Obviously, they look poised to take this A bomb site here. I think MJ might have made some contact, not yet at least. And slow start for both of the teams. Toronto not too keen as always. They don't have the upgraded utility, the upgraded weapons even, and they'll just keep things stable as Moose tries to make some contact. He does find an opening onto DK. Takes him down a second. Good lord, Moose. Takes down 2, maybe even a third here. No, finally. Dav is able to bring it back here, and he does find one equalizer. But the rest of Toronto, they're headed towards the A bomb set of the Tigers. I think they're ready for it. They've got MJ in the back here towards Bank. Has this FAMAS to work with, but he's just going to be alone here to hold things off now. And Fried will look to make things happen. That is absolutely disgusting. Toronto have secured this site. They'll get this bomb plant down, and miraculously, they might have just won this round single-handedly off of the Deagles.
Some insane 1-Deags from U of T to bust this round wide open. I mean, I wouldn't even blame the Tigers at this point if they wanted to save. They've got a couple of great weapons in their hands, and they won't even be able to. The Deagle of GW is going to find one. Lucy looking to try to find something else from Bank. Can't quite escape, it looks like. So activating into the site, a full belt of utility, too likely to go down here. And it's going to be Pharaoh to find the final frag. University of Toronto, they clap back in a big way.
Yeah, and they only lose one player there. They're going to be able to bring only 2 rifles, surprisingly. But that eco round was a great start. I'm imagining this probably is their map picks. You know how the Tigers are starting on their CT side, so we can expect them to have a better performance tactically and individually wise. So they'll buy up here, force up in a Krieg, 2 Kriegs if I'm lost, carried from the prior round, and that AK to accompany them. The rest of the Tigers, they'll do a similar buy here. 4 Deagles and a Mag 7, the only non-pistol in the hands of Farrell. But again, Toronto slow in their pace. They'll look to assert dominance out towards middle, gain that A control, and gain some ground before they plan their attack. But for now, slow start from both of the teams, and looks like Toronto just want to get some map control, ensure that they don't lose this round and another mishap like Tigers did, and taking some extra precautions to ensure this round.
Well, Fly Cow Moose is going to open things up with his retrieved FAMAS, fried rice? How are we going to say that? We've got to come to a consensus before I mess it up anymore. Oh, MJB going to find a Deagle of his own, but Fly Cow Moose opening up that B bomb site with another frag towards Monster. There is a player activated into short. Looking to try to hold that off is going to be Farrell. Just hanging out, hoping that somebody peeks into his Mag 7. This is a cheeky little spot with MJB up in heaven. Continually putting pressure on Fly Cow Moose. They'll finally deal with the threat. And that cue's definitely been given to the rest of U of T to just accelerate into that A bomb site. It should be open, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe he didn't see both players. Well, they'll find it open either way. Toronto looking to get this bomb plant. It should be a safe plant. The FAMAS is not a bad weapon to be giving up in this scenario against an RIT team that did just force as well. So Toronto playing this round pretty well. Might have liked to get it a little bit cleaner, but you take the round wins as they come. Of course, this is their map pick. And again, you had mentioned that this is likely their map pick. And I'm a little surprised, but just because historically RIT have been good on this map, you know, in years past. They've gone to overpass in a lot of different matches that I've casted of theirs. Oh, Pharaoh is even going to take down Farrell, so not even a FAMAS to be saved at this point. MJB is long removed from the round at long. Maybe going to try to recover one of these rifles at the end, and he might just catch Pharaoh looking the wrong way in this position.
Decent chance. I think he's going to extend himself. Does get some deep tags, but Pharaoh, I mean, MJ just misses a couple of shots there, and Pharaoh's there to capitalize on this mistakes. 2-1. Toronto pick up the lead here, and the Tigers, they'll be forced onto another save round. They invested into those pistols, and really nothing came to fruition, so they'll be lackluster in this round as Toronto. 3 Kriegs, full set of utility. It should be an easy round. They should stroll into this one confident as hell, and the Tigers with 5 USPs, a full save into this one. Really not a chance whatsoever, and it will stack towards the B bomb site. Perhaps they can retrieve a Krieg of some sort, or maybe even an upgraded AK-47, but I don't think that they'll be able to collect a round, even maybe get more than a single frag here, unless Toronto make a huge mistake. But again, they're very cautious and very disciplined, ensuring the fact that they will secure this round and really not making too many mistakes early on, and shows the discipline that they have. And on overpass, you need that on your T side, especially because you start to lose control of the map, you start to lose control of the entire game, and they'll assert their dominance now. Molotov almost catches him crossing. Fried is up towards construction, jumps to smoke, allowing him to cross. I mean, they're just kind of selling this fake, trying to work the map, get this information, and already they've collected so much.
Yeah, Toronto's playing this very carefully, and this stack is one that my team actually ran into in our bid for playoffs recently, the pit stack with all USPs. Once one player finds a pick, the other players end up opening themselves up for the taking, and that's exactly what happens here. As you see, RIT explodes out of the pit. It's very unconventional But it's definitely a good strat as long as you don't have players rapping on you and you activate before you can all get basically sprayed down in that pit position. They'll recover 2 Kriegs from this, and they'll look to save those into the following round as Toronto should escape into the A site free and clear. And it should be a 3-1 Toronto lead at this point.
I'm not going to say that it's out of question here for the Tigers to go back into it. Never mind. Jalko finds one. Mijalko, however you want to say it. There's an opportunity for maybe another exit frag. They'll only be able to escape with hopefully a Krieg. I don't even think that Lucy's going to be able to back away. I mean, on low HP, Toronto have the financial backing on Pharaoh and Mijalko to go hunting for. And I don't know. Lucy's kind of stuck in a corner here and might actually go down. No armor. I mean, she's going to hold on to that Krieg and just pray that they can get away with it. I mean, there really isn't a chance here for exit frags. But yeah, 3-1 Toronto. Lovely start for them. I mean, they're getting into it nice and easily, and they're starting to build up a momentum here. But the Tigers, they'll have a strong bye going into the next one, and perhaps that's where things get a little bit dicey for both teams. And first rifle v rifle round will be interesting to see for the Tigers, as, like you said, they've kind of been historically dominant on a map like Overpass, and it does get an exit frag. That's all that they'll get from it. The Tigers still carrying that 1 Krieg over. That could cause a huge upset for Toronto. I mean, a Krieg on a CT set is devastating to any team.
Well, it's not so bad. Yeah, I mean, I guess the 1 Krieg, it would have been nice if they saved both. I guess I can see why they pressured the A site. I mean, the economy of Toronto isn't great just yet. They might be able to muster together a buy with a bomb plant here. But of course, that's just getting into the nitpicky parts of what could happen in this round. Is Toronto going to play a very accelerated default towards connector and upper A here? They won't be met with much resistance. It's very passive from the Tigers, and it looks like they're going to play a flash retake into short here. GW is ready for the flash, and he'll go 1 for 1. That's actually a pretty favorable trade, all things considered, for the T side, because they've got reinforcements here to try to retake short, as the other 2 players remaining on their attacking side are going to be towards upper A, just clearing out the bathrooms position and making those A players sweat. Splitting the defense 2-2 on this map is a pretty decent scenario for CTs once they group and execute.
Yeah, but look at Farrell here with this Krieg. They're going to walk right into it. This is what I was talking about. The Krieg is so overpowered in that scenario. He's even able to back away with his life. Fly doesn't catch him on the cross here, but he does catch Zav, however. Headshot straight to the barrels, and they're making progress towards the A side as well. Mijal goes up here already. He's looking for a player. The op is spotted out here. Headshot clean. Nice. Opens up the A bomb set, and now that forces the Tigers to play a 1-1 split here, as they have no idea where they want to head towards. 3-on-2, and they're split. Lucy will hold the upper bomb site alongside Farrell, who holds the lower. Nicely done. Finds the first onto Majalko, but now a 2-on-2. Bomb can cross onto the site here. Plenty of utility and an angle for Fly. Decides to actually back off of it just for a second. And for now, Tigers calm before the storm now as they start to charge around to the site here. Toronto bomb is planted. 17 seconds left. Bomb eliminates that time factor. And now they've got to work find a way back into it. Lucy 1-on-2 brings us to the 1-on-1. This is an opportunity presented for the Tigers. It's got the second round, but that smoke doesn't bloom in the right position, and Toronto will find themselves a 4th. Fly Cow Moose in the 1-on-1 clutches it out, and a lovely start here for Toronto. Already 4-1 up on a T-side overpass. Pretty strong from them.
Yeah, that's a great start. Again, we keep referencing that this is their map pick, and so you can see why they went to a map like this. Very well played in the 1v1 from Fly Cow there. To realize this trajectory of the smoke and not allow Lucy to get out from that truck position and force himself to maybe have to hit a spray through a smoke. I mean, he just took the fight to her and he won it, and that's going to relegate RIT to an eco buy. This time they've chosen to stack connector. Stack plays with pistols can be very strong on this map. As you see, they'll go for a boost. They can see into the short pipe from here. That smoke's likely going to dissipate before they get contact in towards short. In the meantime, it's just going to be GW in the back of connector, chilling out. Going to smoke off the stack, essentially. And continue to poke and prod. Oh, there's a small gap, though. K22 can work with this. Oh, but GW, he realizes if Flycat moves out B, he's going to take down the jump spotting B player, and he's actually just going to retreat. I think that it's been called from GW that it's likely a connector stack, so Pharaoh at top, connector going to lose the duel to K22. Oh, and the dink onto Flycow Moose. This is a chaotic round. Neither team finding their footing in the chaos. Majalko does finish off K22, who was trying to cut off access to that bomb. They did find it. Now Farrell lurking towards top connector, looking for Majalko. Looking to win that duel. Farrell wins it with full HP as well, and is going to just fall all the way back into the A site. This is a smart play. He knows that if he was likely getting pinched from connector, that trade would have been there quickly, but if he puts himself in this position, now he can basically go to either bomb site.
Oh, he's rotated in and he finds it. That is beautiful.
Yeah, that was a great play from Farrell. Like I said, the reason he backs all the way up there instead of maintaining his position is twofold. It's doesn't want to continue to be in a place where FlyCow can lurk up on him. I mean, we've seen what FlyCow does when he lurks out in different places so far already, just 6 rounds in. But backing all the way up into Heaven/Dumpster, the CT rotates are really fast on this map. So for him to be able to put himself in a position in a 1v1 like that where he can basically, he took a guess towards the B site, but he didn't really remove himself from having a chance on A. I really like how he played that.
Yeah, and it looks like Toronto, they're going to go for a fast play towards the B bomb site. K22 able to manage the load with that AWP, and Farrell as well to accompany in a second frag here as FlyCow moves. Caught out through the smokes. He's going to be blind temporarily, but we'll be able to dissipate that. And Farrell, nice swing over, is able to catch FlyCow. Moves, he might get a second. No, GW finally trades it out. Missed shot from K22, and he has to reposition, drops the Molotov to delay. And they've shut down the push over towards the B bomb site. The bomb and Farrell is going to get caught out by the op eventually. Surprisingly now is GW has to find a way to get back onto the site and accompany Farrell and find some reinforcements. Flashing over will allow him some access, but it is minimal as Farrell doesn't really have a line of sight on any of the players on the Tigers side, and be adamant to keep this position. That's a beautiful shot on Lucy to kick things off. 3 versus 2. Sight is a little bit more open here, but MJ fast on the flick here can catch him off guard. He's spotted just the side of him. Farrell falls, and so will GW. 3-4. The Tigers are much lovely and much stronger CT defense over on the B bomb site.
Very well played. They needed that round too. Again, they have the double ops set up, and that's actually going to break the economy of Toronto. But gives RIT a chance to get back into this, or at least get back in the driver's seat on what is traditionally a CT-sided map. Overpass, a cruel mistress sometimes, regardless of what side you're on. There's a lot of forward ground afforded to CTs. If they're using it effectively, it can feel like the flames of your CT side are being snuffed out before they even start. Nice shot from MJ. Oh, he doesn't connect. I thought he I definitely thought he hit that, and that's actually going to cost the player their life. That's Lucy going down. MJ missing the shot and allowing the early pick, and they'll even drop the M4 into the hands of FlyCow, which is a great play, given what FlyCow's done so far on this map. Not a bad choice, and no armor to work with. They do have 2 flashes, so if they can get close to one of these bomb sites, it looks like they're maybe going to try to clear connector together while they sell a bit of a fake towards long. Either way, they're going to just try to get close to a bomb site as quietly as they can and then try to use those flashes to get in there and get a bomb plant.
Yeah, kind of go for that fast, just funnel into the site off of a single flash. I mean, that's kind of what they're aiming for at this point. It looks like they are going to go for sort of a split over towards bathrooms and a little bit towards long. Never mind. And they'll all start to regroup up, and they'll execute simultaneously out towards the middle, out towards bathrooms. And these flashbangs, they have to be placed so well, or else everything falls apart here. MJ is already holding the line with the up towards bathrooms. The first player might just be Majalko. He does line them up here. He does get a tag as well onto GW. The first player to fall is Majalko. That nade as well could put them in their place, and it looks like it will. Kobe from deep. MJ finds GW, and it looks like the bomb will finally go down here. This isn't a bad scenario here for Toronto. I mean, the bomb goes down on an eco round, and you find themselves an M4 here, although K22 puts Fly in his place. M4 is lost Pharaoh, and an almost impossible 1-on-3, maybe a 1-on-2, possibly a chance. Never mind, denied by Zav, and 3-4 will become 4-4. Not a bad round from Toronto, though. I mean,
no, not at all.
And they get that bomb down. I mean, you're going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, three frags and a bomb plant in a situation where now you're forcing at least a couple of rebuys out from your teammates or from RIT's side. Maybe a couple of drops are going to have to come in here. It's definitely going to limit their economy, as you see a couple of players dropping very low in cash, and that's going to even the game out a little bit. If Toronto are able to take this gun round, that might just force RIT into a bit of a rough scenario.
Yeah, they do have a couple players that could rebuy up if that is the case. But, I mean, yeah, not going to be the best scenario if they lose this round. I mean, that economy damage done, it all matters so much if you're a CT, because everything is so much more expensive when comparison to the T economy. So, yeah, any damage found by University of Toronto is going to be a win in their books, especially in those Zika rounds. But now we're into the rifle round. Decent utility sets on both teams. It is a slow round once more from Toronto to try and gain that map control once more. They've worked out kind of what the Tigers like to set up a 2-3 split and up anchored on both sides. This double up setup has been working tremendously well for the Tigers, better than I could have expected, honestly. I mean, they play that MJ. MJ is so up close on towards construction that it's amazing the work that he's able to find, and he's able to rotate all the way around back towards A when needed. Tigers, they're sitting comfortably on the A bomb side. They've got that confidence with 3 rounds in a row. Flashbang through from Fly Cow will allow Friedriz to get himself some access. MJ backs away towards the platform, and again, another slow round, 45 seconds left. Take some damage. Oh, the timing. Farrell gets off the scope, and K22 capitalizes on it. Another shot from MJ only warrants attack here, but again, Zab towards barrels. They have a nice crossfire set up, and it's just going to be a lovely cleanup here. He pulls out the USP GW in a 1-on-4. Has the first strike, but with 30 seconds left, I don't think there's a chance that he even finds a second.
No, I mean, you can walk up into this A's side, you can find a pick. There's a lot that GW99 can try and do right now in terms of damage, but winning the round definitely out of the question. GW might even just walk right into this op scope if he's not careful. Okay, we'll take down one.
Ooh, okay.
Now saving an op, not bad. He might just try to die though. He might.
No. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, as long as he went down before the clock there, that's also fine. I mean, keeping your money even with your team is also important. I think sometimes you get into a situation as a T side if you're saving weapons where, you know, you're inclined to force around those weapons, and then you get into a situation where all of a sudden you're vitality and you can't win a major tournament ever again.
Oh man, you had to call him out like that. Dang. Well,
it's fine. Shox is just going to bring Smiths out of retirement again.
Even though they picked up, what is it, Misuta, the young gunner?
Yeah, I think it's Mitsua.
It's something of the sort. We know that it starts with an M, and right now what's starting to form an L is Toronto off this pistol round. Lucy tagged down low, 32 points of health. So map control gain here for the Tigers as K22 will find some control out towards water. That's a lovely shot from GW. A drive-by with the Deagle and a perfect 80 straight will catch him off guard here, but the trade frags come back the way. GW still putting in the work with that Deagle of his. His Deagle is ablaze right now, but so is Farrell's. He finds both of the frags here. No, not the second. It is Zav, luckily enough to clean them up. But again, that damage is done sufficiently enough. 3 players dropped here. Doesn't harm too much to Farrell and MJ. But man, Lucy on 4.1. Financial troubles are starting to brew here for the Tigers.
Yeah, you can kind of see a little battle forming, like individual players. You got Farrell, who's the veteran player from RIT, on paper probably their top fragger for sure, and then you got Flycow, who's having a heck of a game, but a couple of players on Toronto stepping up as well, and it looks like Toronto going to go for a bit of a pace change. They've been going for these slow defaults in towards upper A. This time they're going to accelerate fast through the smoke into short B. Zav with a reply nade, that could get some damage done. Okay, just a little bit. Not too bad, but RIT, they've been forced all the way back into the B site. Their A players haven't chosen to aggress whatsoever here. And I'm thinking that RIT is just going to sit and wait. Only problem is we'll see if Toronto has a rehearsed execute here that they can work with. They've definitely flushed out some of the CT utility with that early aggression into short. They will be re-smoked off. It does look like they are going to just try to set up and go for a B execute.
Yeah, they'll have GW. Well, they had GW. Fly Cow trades them out. I was going to say they had GW going towards Monster, but now their entire execution up here and focused towards construction. No, Farrell will reposition. No, they're actually going to go back towards the A bomb site. They're going up back towards Connector to clear everything out. And look at the rotations it's drawn. All of the Tigers are rotating over now. It's just a matter of time before they start to catch on to what the plans of get downwind of it. And the Tigers, they're not sold completely yet that this is going to be a full B execution. It's been too slow from Toronto right now, and those flashbangs will hold the rotations off back towards the A bomb site just a little bit longer to allow Toronto some space to get back in towards A. It's a slow start for them with 30 seconds left. Barrow will have to create some havoc. Already MJ and Lucy are going to rotate back up towards A. The bomb, it's headed back towards the B bomb site. However, it's just going to be a 2-on-4. Not a lot in the terms of manpower here for Toronto, but Moose finds himself onto the site, and now Tigers are caught between rotations now as MJ able to work the map here and finds himself one. Fried needs to get this bomb down now. The Molotov isn't going to touch him. Bomb is down now to 1-on-3. He's burning down in the flames. He'll go down to it. And a messy round from Toronto. They went back and forth between the sites, and eventually they settled for B, but at that point it's just too late. You already lose too many players, and Tigers solid hold there and a solid retake.
Yeah, Toronto was just praying they could catch a rotation there, and You know, you said RIT was a little bit unsure of what Toronto was doing. Well, I think Toronto was a little unsure of what Toronto was doing there. At a certain point, you know, I like the call to go up towards A, but if you're going to make that call, you've just kind of got to go balls to the wall and just send it. Just go straight up A. Like, the rotations for CTs are so quick. You saw the players get towards front bathrooms, and they were already pretty close to site. If everybody was with them and they just exploded as soon as they heard the B rotate, they would have beat those CT players to site, and they would have had a lot better chance in that round. But instead, opening up this one, Farrell, he's got the spam, and he'll take down Flycal. Like I said, that little battle emerging between those two players this time is going to go the way of Farrell, and RIT looking very strong so far here on their CT overpass. Despite a bit of a lackluster start, it looks like they've got their feet under them and are going to continue to put pressure on the Canadian side.
I love that spam. I've seen that spam so many times before, and it is just devastating whenever it works out. And I mean, cheeky plays like that will almost honestly give rounds to teams just like that. And Toronto down a man just to kick things off. We'll be looking to find something off of their own cheeky boost. And lovely enough, Mijalko finds the head of Zab, takes him down, and, well, what'd you know? Another cheeky boost comes into play, but MJ trades it back out, gives them back the man advantage for a 4-on-3 scenario. University of Toronto, again, I mean, they're not too tempted to execute towards B or towards A. They're kind of tiptoeing and teetering on the verge of going towards A or towards B. And right now, it looks like they'll head back towards the B bomb. So they have progression made in the likes of Majalko all the way up towards Connector and even out to get some more control towards water. And a 2-2 split from the Tigers. This could work out for Toronto if they get the smokes lined up. They do have 2 to work with, and that single Molotov on GW. It's going to be a dicey execution nonetheless. And with 20 seconds left, they need to go now. They need to accelerate onto the site, and Molotov goes in. Smokes, I assume, will follow hereafter, and it looks like it will. Some counter smokes even being drawn out here from the Tigers. That up from MJ. He's just going to go straight through the smoke. He wants to find something, and he needs to get it now. As already, everyone dances around these pillars. Those smokes will keep them concealed. And 2 frags back the way of Toronto with 2-1-2 as Roar, or K22 is able to trade it back now. Flashbang over top GW. Just holding behind the boxes, praying for his life, and they're praying on his downfall as bomb is ticking and no utility for the Tigers to get back into it. Just a single flashbang to work with now, but they still find an opening frag, and it looks like Lucy's looking for more. It's going to be GW. Has to go for the reload, and the up in the hands of K22 with the spam. 1 versus 2. GW gets it, and Toronto will find themselves back on the board just in the nick of time. 5-7. The Tigers still leading.
Huge clutch out of GW there to win that one. RIT still have a buy, of course, under their belt, I think. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they're just going to go for light pistols. This is a very conservative call. They definitely could have afforded... yeah, you know what? I kind of like it, actually. They could have afforded a pretty meager buy, but instead they're going to go for a healthier one into the next round here. And we'll just go with the pistols this time. They've had a little bit of success with these pistols towards Connector. This time they're going to split the stack with Short. Lucy going to find the kill. It'll cost MJ his life.
We'll pick up an AK, however. So, I mean, Lucy, hands of an AK, has got some sand around. But yeah, Toronto have got almost this full control towards the bomb site. Pistols will start to rotate back around. But really, this entire round resides on the fact that Lucy can find something, and Farrell will find one onto Farrell, coincidentally. And 4 versus 3. They might just want to try and save the AK because they can invest into an op in the later rounds, whereas maybe they wouldn't be able to invest into it had they lost that AK, but I think they're going to continue to go for this aggression. Pharaoh will be cornered out in towards the bank with Mac 10. I want to see maybe a drive-by, but no. Bomb goes down here. They'll play it safe for Toronto, ensure a 6th round, and now match is starting to heat up. Tigers, they want to streak the rounds here and starting to slip away from them. K22 will take Pharaoh's life as he slips away from the map, and 3-on-2. They're going to keep hunting. They want more exit frags here as they continue this aggression. Flycal, however, ready on that up, will find himself a second. And, well, the Tigers, they manage their economy. They'll have a strong buy going into the next one, and they do some damage, but the damage isn't really anything substantial.
Yeah, see, this is what they were saving for, so I'm wondering now, it's like, they went for the half buy last round. Are they going to go for another half buy and then just try to go all in on the final round?
Maybe.
Like, what would have been the difference, really, in going for a, like I said, it wouldn't have been a great buy, but they would have had at least some firepower in that last round. Going for that, and then if they lose it, saving here and then buying into the last. I guess they're just going for 2 half buys instead.
Ensure a strong buys, I think.
Not my job to agree or disagree. I'm just making observations here.
It's our job to talk over the game, not to judge the player's actions. But
sorry, my IGL brain just gets ticking sometimes.
Well, not necessarily a bad thing. As fly count, it's a tag on Feral. The tags are going back for Toronto. Fly cow, he has to manage this load here. Drop some Molotov to ensure that that load can be managed fairly enough. And 6 to 7. Looks like there should be a 7th round here for the Tigers. I mean, those tags already onto both GW and Fried. It allows those Eagles to really do some of the dirty work and grind into the gears of Toronto. And they'll be slow and adamant to take this A bomb site here, lining up the shots. Pharaoh even burning a little bit of the Molotov, taking a look at damage here. And I like the stack here from the Tigers, boasting 3 players towards the A bomb site, even in Toronto. The 40 seconds left. They'll start to line up the smokes here. Fried drops the smoke out towards Dumpster, it seems. And yep, they'll be ready to take it now. Everything lined up for them to get onto the A-bombs. But the question is, can the Deagles put in the work for the Tigers here? P250 on Zav. He looks to find a tag. He does get a light. One has to back away. Dancing around here. Look at the Deagle from Lucy. Lines up almost a triple. Almost gets a collateral, but unfortunately, Fried and Fly Cow able to take them both down. And that's going to be the bomb plant secured. An opportunity for the Tigers to get some more damage onto Toronto. And I mean, the economy not too hot for GW, and Majalko as well dropping. An optimal round here for the Tigers was just to look to find maybe 1 or 2 more frags.
That Deagle's so close to doing a ton of damage. I mean, Feral, he can finish off some of these players here. Just has to spray wildly. The single HP player Fried to fall. MJ does find one on the exit. Fly Cow shutting down MJB on the flank. And Feral's found an AK. Just needs to escape the blast radius. Should be able to do so. And saving an AK into this final round. Oh, maybe not. Feral goes hunting. And
Feral dies as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad call, though. This is the last round, and not allow, at least denying the AK. I mean, denying the weapon is neither here nor there, given the economy of the CT side. I guess they were saving for this double op setup that they've invested in, and I mean, it has worked for them in past rounds. So Toronto mounting a bit of resistance towards the end of this half, all tied up at 7 here, heading into the final round of the half, and it is going to be RIT with the double op setup. Toronto with the fast default. Gonna go accelerate up connector once again. Fried gonna find the opening there. MJB falls. So the first op gone. Lucy by herself here. I'm not sure if Lucy does have a rotate called, but I'm not sure Lucy activates here in time. Farrell's lurked all the way out and takes out one. There's another player behind Dice. Farrell gonna swing out and find the trade. But that's a lot of ground and information gained towards A for Toronto. They can really do whatever they want with this round right now. They can just sit on this and make RIT sweat. There's not a lot of utility left to speak of for the Tigers at this point. Following this smoke, they'll have no way of really stopping and execute on either bomb site.
Yeah, and Pharaoh, he plays such a crucial role in this round. He goes down, and he doesn't find a single frag, not even a double. There's no chance of the round here for the Tigers, and he might not even get one. Not a chance at it. Fried is adamant to clear that one out, and Zav will aggress through that smoke, try and get some positioning, and catches GW unaware. Drags go back and forth. Zav finds 2, and now K22 in a 1-on-2 as Majalko trades it out here, aggressing into the site. Shotgun up close. It's a no-scope. He finds it 1-on-2 against Flycow, has spotted him as well. Everything lying in the side of the Tigers. Now no utility on both sides, just a flashbang between the two of them. And X22, or K22 has tapped the bomb already, and he gets the headshot. A 1-on-2 clutch. Shotgun up close, and that's going to close out the half in favor of the Tigers. What a clutch it is. And in the time I need, K22 comes up big.
RIT will escape the half, 8-7. Very good stuff from them. I mean, both teams really looking strong at this point. I can sense a close matchup coming up here. Something's telling me that this is going to be a long series, just from how these
something's brewing.
Yeah, but from how these two teams are playing against one another, it's really back and forth. Neither team has really taken a dominant position over the other. Each individual player's kind of having their moments. And in a series like this, you can kind of already tell when it's likely to go the distance. And RIT and Toronto here, two very evenly matched teams. And we see why they've matched up here in playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, RIT, they have, I believe, the #1 seed, if I'm not mistaken. And, man, they've definitely earned it. Toronto not far behind them, I think, in the 7th, I want to say. I might be just a little bit off in the numbers, but yeah, these two teams firing on all cylinders here. They'll get back into the second half right as we speak. At 8-7, the Tigers on their T side now look to make a comeback, or at least stage something on their T side to ensure their sustainability here on this map. But Toronto on their CT side now, this is their map pick presumably, so we're hoping they can make some magic happen now as the Tigers. 2 sets of utility at MJ and Zav. 1 set in the hands of Toronto. That'll be in the hands of Majalko with a kit as well to accompany him. No upgraded pistols for anyone, and 3 sets of Kevlar amongst Tigers. 4 for Toronto. They'll go and explode on towards the site. K22, he's full blind. He doesn't give a hoot. He's going to launch himself onto it. Fried has to back off the boost here as he does take a gush to the head. Barrel as well dropped down to 49. Bomb goes down. The wall of smoke created by the Tigers gives them so much room. Friders will go back for the boost here to try and spot something else happen away. Does get 2. Toronto and a 4-on-3 retake is in their favor. Kitsil Majalko as well in the positional awareness from the Tigers. However, headshot arrow. He still finds it though. That's unbelievable. Here you might even get a 3rd for his troubles now, but low HP on Pharaoh, GW and Fry. This is so dicey for them, but they don't care. They clean it up nice and they equalize 8-8. What a retake that is.
I really actually, at first, I was looking at the setup that Toronto employed, and I'm like, okay, so they're flashing a player into Monster and then also going for the boost. And it's like, usually you kind of either commit to the stack towards B, flash player, or 2 into Monster. And, you know, if you can shut them down there, then, you know, you really get the round in your hand. You can rotate more players back up to A. But I actually liked it after that because it's like, you're mitigating the risk of taking that Monster peak. And exactly what happened to that first player with K22 full blind running with the Glock and just still taking you down. I mean, that is the power that is Monster for T side sometimes. And then still having the boosted player, keeping control of that CT side of Graffiti. It allowed Toronto to mount a good retake, and they just continued to play their fights, won them, and trusted in each other to win those fights and win the map control back, ultimately win the pistol and tie things up here. We got to pause here.
It was super clean to watch. And yeah, attack timeout, maybe even a technical. I'm not too sure.
This pause brought to you by GameStop. Power to the players.
We love GameStop now, don't we? Also got a note, HyperX, but we'll get back into this matchup. I imagine it was probably just attack pause, just based on the brevity of it. So whoever called it, I don't know who could have called it and what they'd be talking about, but I imagine it would be the Tigers to ensure, again, the sustainability of their T side here on a map like Overpass. Such a crucial side to hold on to, and Toronto didn't do too bad of a job going on their T side. They're leading, or they equalized 8-7, leading in the second half by 1. And strong buy from the Tigers off of that bomb plant. They set themselves up nicely with 3 rifles, 2 deagles, and well, see what they can do from it. These deagles from MJ and K22 can be so devastating, and that might just happen again as 22 almost catches them on the jump. Thought maybe tore his head off, but Tigers, slow start for them. GW will have a challenge from MJ. We'll clean it up nicely. No damage found onto him. And yeah, Toronto picking off that first play with the Eagle. Not too big of an upseed because rifles are still in play here for the Tigers, but he might just get a second unless Farrell can trade him out now. Is spraying through the side panel. He does get a nice, lovely tag. Not sufficient enough to take him out. And the Tigers, I mean, it's kind of a cluster down towards water. Lucy trying to get on the flank here will be successful to take down GW, but he needs to find a second as well as a 3-on-4. The Tigers will retrieve the bomb in a minute left. They're still not really too certain as to where they want to go. I mean, they're kind of bouncing on both A and B. It looks like they will decide to head towards A. So smokes and Molotovs being lined up. This is a sufficient take here. 2 smokes and a Molotov to work with. Very optimal for them.
Up into the bomb site. They will not check. Right. I'm not going to try to say it, man. I keep trying, and I just keep getting a tongue twister every time. I'm going to call him Fried. And that's all it's going to be. I mean, Fried hides in the corner. That's one you probably got to check, but you can kind of excuse them not checking it because traditionally clearing out that truck position is so difficult that RIT focused their attention in the wrong direction. Toronto will be back in the lead here at 9-8 on their CT side. The upper A molly tossed in. And it's going to be an eco into connector. GW cleans up 1. Has to switch. Pulls out the USP. They can even recover that M4 as well.
No, well, that's just a slaughter now, isn't it? Tigers, they walk right into GW. Does a perfect job. They're managing the load. 3K from him, 2 off the M4, then switching out to that USP for the second, or for the third, I should say. And well, that'll be the round essentially. I mean, MJ, he's hoping, I guess. I mean, I don't know what they planned with those 2 flashbangs. Maybe a pop flash in towards the A site from connector, but they were foiled by GW single-handedly and bombed down. MJ, Glock in his hand, Glock in a hope, basically. I mean, there's not a lot for him to begin with, and I mean, he'll be lucky to find essentially anything in this one, but the Tigers will have a strong buy going into the next one, and that's where, again, things start to brew in the pot. Things start to cook up and start to heat up as the Tigers, down by 2 after this one, will look to claw their way back into this second half as they already allowed 3 rounds in a row for the Toronto side. They want to cut short, stomp their foot on that momentum. MJ will have a chance at a single frag, does get it. Won't be able to retrieve the M4, however. Everyone's going to start pushing into him, and Toronto, only 2 casualties. Not the best, but definitely could have been worse. So 10-8, they lead 3 rounds in a row on their CT side, and finally the Tigers will be able to get a strong buy going into an MJ with the up. No double up, I imagine we will see. And so they'll look to get back into it in the second half. Cut short the momentum built up by Toronto, and this will be a true test for both teams.
This is where it counts, of course. You like to see how Toronto has started their CT side here. We referenced a lot more at the start of the game before things kind of started getting close and dicey that this is Toronto's map pick, and you can kind of see it in the way that they're playing their CT side. They've got a varying number of setups on their CT side, as you can see here. They're going for the connector play potentially into short. Majalko's kind of selling to these players that, okay, I'm jumping for information. I'm just making sure you guys aren't in this position. But at any point, these 2 players could pop connector or do what they're doing now. They're going to push up and clear it and get some information. Once they find no one, they may just rotate a player up. GW's playing a dangerous game with Farrell right now, and he's going to lose it. There's a second player pushed all the way through connector. Hasn't found the bomb just yet. And that's going to put some pressure on Toronto to make the next move. Luckily, they have Fried in this position. Okay, he has moved up, has found the bomb. He's going to line up
Fried.
2. Very well played from Fried there. And just like that, he's going to... Oh, yeah, now he's found it. Now he knows that there could be another player in this position. That's a 3K for him. Looking good from Fried. He can continue to sit on this bomb. He can... Oh,
okay.
No. As I was going to say, he could smoke that off. He tried to.
Foreshadow for his downfall, who knows?
If MJB clutches this back because that spot of the map didn't get smoked off, that would be
hilarious.
That would be the biggest anime betrayal of 2020.
I don't think it's gonna happen, MJ. Glass Cannon, op in hand, has a dream and has a mission to accomplish, and that is just gonna save the op into the next round, so we won't get that additional bonus. But I mean, I think you mentioned before about going down with the rest of your team or the rest of your squad mates, because now the Tigers, they're going to want to force up around this op, and either that's going to benefit them or that's going to hurt them in the long run. So I don't know how I feel about them saving that single op, and MJ, they will have to invest around it as he doesn't gain anything. Might even go down here. Luckily enough, the time runs out. And do the Tigers invest? I imagine they would.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough call. I mean, what is their loss bonus now? Like, is it max loss bonus? Yeah, they're at max loss bonus. So light pistols around it, a decent call in my opinion. It won't, like, if they lose this round with a bomb plant, it's not going to be horrible for MJ. He can at least try to get something going here. But unfortunately, because he saved a glass cannon, he can't even get armor in this situation. So he's kind of playing back towards the B side right now, hoping that somebody walks into a scope towards Monster. That's Zav, rather. MJ in connector, holding for a peek. Going 2 for 1, though, in upper A, going to be the rest of RIT, or going 1 for 2, rather. And another kill from GW. Toronto is really looking solid here. They've got a great mind for this map, I think. You see the way they're playing. They're just so comfortable moving around on the CT side. RIT is in some big trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto, they look, I mean, like you said, they look so comfortable. They look so relaxed. Not really too many worries. Majalko, he knows his positioning. He knows how to play this position perfectly. Even jump spotting for a second time around. And the Tigers, if MJB can back away with the op, I can see them having a chance in the next round. But he goes down here, he won't have that extra bonus. And even then, if he stays alive, he won't have armor. He won't have any utility. So all the worse for the Tigers right now. Just that one play of saving an op causes so much destruction on their side. GW's already on a 4K. Does he hunt for the ace? I think he might just. And yeah, we'll be 12-8 for Toronto. And this is looking really dicey from the Tigers. Down by 4 rounds after this one. And they'll be looking to chime back in. And that the one buy that they had did not look strong whatsoever. Like you said, Toronto so comfortable in dealing with the rifle, so comfortable in dealing with almost any scenario thrown at them that the Tigers, they're basically punching a brick wall at this point in time. And not really making any dents whatsoever. So 12-8 Toronto, 4-round lead. The Tigers will again have a sufficient buy going to the next one, but MJB, no armor, nothing at all. No, he goes down. No, MJB. Oh, that's a catastrophe.
That's literally worst case scenario.
No.
He was already looking at saving a glass cannon into the next round. He's got $50 to his name. His team going for a full buy on this round. They'll drop him off a deagle, but he is just cannon fodder at this point for RIT. Oh, they were really hoping to have that op into this round too. That's the danger right there with saving on the T side.
Oh, that's a huge hit financially. I mean, he'll be able to buy up with this team in the next round, but man, that is a huge hit in this round, where a round that they so desperately needed, because Toronto will be on 13 and the Tigers won't even hit double digits. So they needed this round more so than ever, I imagine, and just losing that op in MJB, that's a huge downgrade, a huge hit to their economy, a hit to their morals or morals, I should say. And the Tigers, now they realize that they have to play so much slower here. GW can challenge on the op here. Zav trying to find a tag, does get it onto Majalko, chops him down to 47. Even daring with that little bit, Majalko continue to jump spot over. And the Tigers, I mean, look how spread out through the map there. They look so uncertain as to what they want to do. MJB will finally retrieve that bomb and will regroup with the A site players. And looks like the Tigers will be poised to take this A bomb site. They're setting up some smokes to sell a fake here. Well, it's obviously being used, but it looks like, yeah, they're going to be anchoring towards the A bomb site. Possibly. They thought for a second they go down towards connector, but no. Ready for this A hit. Toronto holding strong now with the op in the hands of GW. Will have to be an instrumental factor in this hold now, as I mean, Toronto, they're not completely sold that this is a B hit. They hardly have rotated anything down. GW backs away and towards bank. Smoke down does allow him some room to over that nade as well. That's going to do so much damage. Fly Cow gets one on the K22. It's a 4-on-3 now, and man, advantage gain still. That dealing on the hands of MJ is going to be rendered completely useless as Majalko just quickly puts him in his grave. A 2-on-4, Lucy and Zav. They have positional awareness on the bomb here, can hold things off here. Lucy catches one crossing, but he needs to find, or she needs to find a second, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen because Pharaoh's got her. And that's going to be it here. Zav in a 1-on-3. Fly catches him off guard, and 13-8 Toronto. So dominant here on overpass.
Yeah, the presence of mind even for Flycow not to be sticking that, realizing that there's so much time left on the clock here. And yeah, this is another pause here. This one's brought to you by HyperX, sponsor for us this season here at CSL. And this is a good time for them to take a pause and make sure that their strategy is sound at this point. Make sure that the next round that they're attacking in, that they can kind of figure out what's going on. Because at this point, Toronto's just having their way with them every round. The retakes are solid. The setups are solid. RIT, it seems like they're running into stacks or different stacks at different parts of the map. They're not able to find the trades that Toronto was finding against them on their CT side. And so Toronto in a really, really good spot here.
3 rounds away from closing out what we presume to be their map pick, and we can kind of see why. I mean, you talked about how the Tigers, they're formidable on a map like Overpass, but right now, they seem anything but formidable. They seem so lackluster right now and not finding any success on their T side. If this is attack pause, hopefully that whatever they're talking about, it needs to be more than just, well, we're not hitting our shots, because overall they're just getting destroyed. Toronto are so comfortable and they look so relaxed. They have no troubles in dealing with anything that the Tigers want to throw at them. And going into this one, hopefully they made some adjustments here, the T's, and a crucial round. Full buy up from everyone. 5 AKs, a decent set of utility on every single player, just a little bit less on K22 and MJB, but this is a round that is so crucial to the Tigers' survivability. I mean, they haven't amassed a single round here on their T side. 6 rounds in a row from Toronto, and it's looking to be even more. A complete shutout on their second half. This Pharaoh swinging out towards long. What was up onto Pharaoh? Map control gain in Toronto. You can see how comfortable they are, how relaxed they are. So confident in their ability to take control here that they're just swinging out here towards Pharaoh and getting this control. Finally, MJB trades it back here, but Fried, fast as ever, trades it back as well. 4 versus 3. The confidence from Toronto, just aggressively swing that is phenomenal. And you can already see the Tigers are worried now. They're going to head back towards the B bomb site, but with minimal utility, minimal players, minimal firepower, they will try and launch a full frontal assault, but it should be shut down here by Toronto.
Majalko getting the first fly count, chiming in for the second and third. And Toronto just 2 rounds away from taking the first map of this series. Yeah, like you keep mentioning, like we keep mentioning, their confidence is so strong right now. Toronto's so comfortable. They're changing it up every round, and having a dynamic CT side on overpass is a really scary thing to play against. Obviously, they've practiced, changing it up every round. RIT is left guessing at where these two players are going to be, and this time GW and Pharaoh are going to just play it standard. They won't find anything, but see how they just completely aggress right up into Fountain right here. They've relayed all this information to their teammates, and now they can take up positions to guard connector. They can cut off the rotate. They can make sure their B-site teammates are ready for this impending hit that RIT is going to go with right now. Okay.
Oh my God.
That's a drive-by and a half from K22. I guess it doesn't matter how much A aggression you have if the monster players are running out and hitting shots like that. Lucy's going to get the bomb plant, and this round looking decent for RIT. Still a possibility with Pharaoh now trying to flank in. Does get the first onto Lucy. That was a given. Lucy unable to get off the site following that plant, but an M4 and an AK, rather, 2 rifles recovered for RIT, and they stand a chance at holding this off. Both players rotating in from the monster side. GW trades the first frag with an opto in this position. Does he just go for the stick? Oh, no, he won't. Zav is going to find it. The smoke a little off center, and RIT are going to escape on the back of a drive-by from K22. Hide your kids, hide your wife. This man's running out monster. That's a scary sight right there.
That was insane. Well, I don't know what to say off of that single D shot. Obviously, the Tigers, they stay alive. They keep Toronto off of match point for the time being. But the economy amassed from Toronto seems to be just stockpiling every single round. And so much money to amass here. Even the spray from Jalko, he might spot a second. That jump spot just barely off cue. And 1 HP for GW, just barely alive, barely standing. And the rest of the Tigers will be stuck in a standstill at this point in time. Majalko might have just heard the cue here, but he doesn't realize that they're so close up in front of him. Majalko, again, jump spotting. Lucy wins the duel on the 1 HP player. That is GW going down. A control gain towards connector, but again, Toronto have assertion over towards, looks like to be middle. Yeah, Fried is pushed up already, and he's looking for something, and the Tigers are just going to be stuck in towards water. They're going to try and reassert here as Fried up close with this M4 could cause so much damage, and the Tigers realize that they need to play cautious. Fried as well, pushing through a smoke and catch him off guard. There goes one player, traded back out. Zavis down, and the Tigers losing that control towards water will now need to just group up and go for a full frontal assault here, but right now they're so split thin. 45 seconds left. Toronto are playing this to perfection right now. Regaining that map control and that utility usage is worn them down to just a single Molotov and 4 flashbangs, but still, so much control had here, and they are looking to shut it down here on the B bomb site.
Toronto's got the reinforcements in the right position here. Playing 3 towards the B bomb site, and that's where the hit's coming in from RIT. The read is good from Toronto, and the opening as well from Flycow. He's going to be taken down off the box, though. Lucy coming up on the bridge to find the second kill, and swinging wide now. Going to be Majalko trying to swing the advantage back in his team's favor, but he's going to lose a duel to K22, and that's going to give RIT a huge chance in this round. RIT telegraphed where they were going, and Toronto just unfortunately not able to win the duels, and MJB finishes it off. The resident offer on the board. RIT trying to make something of this. They're down, but they're not out.
Yep, again, they stay afloat. Keep them off a match point. There's a chance that they make it 16-14. Economy struggles will be for Toronto if they lose this round, and I don't imagine there's going to be too much utility to accompany this firepower, and yeah, lack thereof in the hands of Pharaoh, GW, and a little bit actually just spread all around. No, everyone has a full set of utility. They'll use some more out towards Fountain, gain that control, but no one's going to assert dominance here. Again, Lucy posted up in towards connector. We'll wait for some players to approach. Boost up here. They want to get something back towards water, and the Tigers, if they fall prone to the cheeky plays from Toronto, again, it spirals out of control. Toronto have been very adamant to just play that sneaky style and that cheeky style and really find open fags here, and no op to accompany them. They won't have that long-range scope, that big green gun to help them out here, and the Tigers, now they're starting to look a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more confident, but even still, Toronto, not really too worried at this point in time. 4-round lead, 2 away from map point, and I'll be solid in this hold. Looks like the rest of the Tigers, though, aggressing towards long to get that control. GW left in connector here to manage the load. Spots some player up close, gets the spray, lands the headshot. Lucy goes down, man advantage gain, and that'll stop Tigers. It'll slow them down towards long and buy some time for the rest of Toronto.
What?
What? MJ, he had a family.
Oh, look, Zav is timing this so well. Catches Pharaoh with his Vance down. There's another player on barrels. Zav doesn't spot him out. Flycow now relaying the information that this is, in fact, an A hit in the making. And the A site open. Fried is going to find one. That was the bomb on site. MJ should be able to get this down free and clear. But, oh, he's wary of the flank right now. He needs to make sure he's planting this. Okay, he plants it on truck. I was going to say he needs to plant it in a safe position. They will hear that sound cue, though. And the molly extinguished by MJ. Toronto escaped that one. RIT played that so beautifully.
That was a lovely execution. I mean, what's it? Zav catches the player out towards B. That beautiful shot from NJ. I still can't get over that. That was insane. Nice fast flick in Toronto. 15-10. The Tigers, 5 rounds in a row is what they need. They'll have a very strong bind going into this one. Plenty of utility with company, lots of firepower to back them up, and 1 round away from map point here before we head to a second. Toronto looking to close things out here off of this one. No op again to accompany them. They'll settle for the rifles, and so will the Tigers. No op on either side. It's going to be a full-out brawl here with the rifles, and maybe Tigers want to change things up now as 5 players aggressing towards B. It could just be a full head-on rush here as Molotov dropped by Flycow. Will delay them if they did want to aggress towards it. They'll gain control towards Monster, maybe a little bit more towards water, but no, they're gonna go for this full head-on B rush here, and this could be the end of them or the start of something new. Majalko in the back of the site, pulling in towards Graffiti, trying to tap some heads away, but is only able to find one. K22 trading it back. Flycow and Pharaoh doing a phenomenal job here. MJ in the back lines has just sprinted through the smoke, has brought it down to the 1-on-2, can make it a 1-on-1 here. It looks like not much going the way of them as he's left in a corner, pinched between 2 crosshairs. He's going to get shut down. 16-10 for Toronto to close things out here on map number 1. A dominant second half here, and they come back alive on their map.
Toronto with a beautiful CT side. RIT did finally start to mount a bit of a comeback there, but it was too little too late at that point. Very, very solid play from Toronto. Really impressed. Across the board, it was a great effort from all players. Flycow hitting some amazing shots. But all players in the server really played really well in that map, of course. And that was really fun to watch. I'm really excited for what's to come in this series. So, of course, we'd like to thank our sponsor, GameStop, as we mentioned. Make sure you guys check out www.gamestop.com/esports for more details about the GameStop Performance Center Gaming Clinics. You guys can check those out. Give you a better look at how the pros you love play the games you love. And, of course, make sure you guys go to GameStopBootcamp.com so you can enter to win a 4-day trip to the GameStop Performance Center in Frisco, Texas, where you'll get a chance to hang out with Complexity and train in CSGO or Fortnite. All you got to do is submit a short video of your team, and it'll give you a chance to win what could be the experience of a gaming lifetime. Of course, guys, we're going to go to a quick break here before the next map starts. Stick around. This is going to be a spicy one.
Goodbye.
Old friends, new money, that's the motto. Sip a little more, get the message out the bottle. Don't care if you get mad, free to collo. Probably need some molly, like a hard pill to swallow. Them other girls hollow, they fuck for a follow. Anything to make it, they will beg, steal and borrow. Botox from the doc, that be paying the bills. Out in Beverly Hills, a place where nothing is real. Yeah. Sometime, meet me offline, we can do things that they do in real life, yeah. Sometime, meet me outside, we can do things that they do in real life, yeah. We can do things that they do in real life, yeah. You probably think we're so tight, I really hate you sometimes. I hope you live your best life, or you can watch me live mine. You probably think it's alright, I really hate you sometimes. I'm not pretending we're fine, you don't even see me offline. If one more person at this party asks me for some drugs, I'ma give them a hug and say you doing too much. While we all in a rush, why can't we just have fun? Think we really in touch? And then you read up on what happened to Mac. Miller, these painkillers, numbing the wrong feelings. And nowadays, the hospital drug dealing, it's never what it seems when it's dream unfulfilling. Sometime, meet me offline, and we can do things that they do in real life, yeah. Sometime, meet me outside, and we can do things that they do in real life, yeah. We can do things that they do in real life, yeah. You probably think we're so tight. I really hate you sometimes. I hope you live your best life, or you can watch me live mine. You probably think it's alright. I really hate you sometimes. I'm not pretending we're fine. You don't even see me offline, 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 offline. Hands up, head first, down the slide. Let's make a toast, pour it up over ice. Stop acting like we close, don't tag me in the post. You can find me in my mind, I don't need to be online. Sometime, and meet me offline, but we can do things that they do in real life, yeah. You probably think we're so tight. I really hate you sometimes. I hope you live your best life, or you can watch me live mine. You probably think it's alright. I really hate you sometimes. I'm not pretending we're fine. You don't even see me offline.
I got it so bad, I got it bad for you. You give me good love, you're like a dream come true. They say it won't last, they say you're wild and free. I know you never were a one-man woman, I was hoping you would give it all up for me. I get so confused, I love it when it's only me and you, doing all the things we know we shouldn't do. This is way too good, it can't be true. So tell me what your game is, girl. When you touch me, feel so good, I can't contain it. When you love me, I'm so high, so confident, yeah. When you say I'm the only one, I must admit it. I get suspicious, just a little suspicious. I shouldn't doubt you, I'm all up in my head. When I'm without you, I start to lose my shit. I just been hurt before. Stranger's t-shirt on my bedroom floor. Excuse me for being suspicious. It's just that I get so confused. I love it when it's only me and you, doing all the things we know we shouldn't do. This is way too good, it can't be true. So tell me what your game is, girl. When you touch me, feel so good, I can't contain it. When you love me, I'm so high, so confident, yeah. When you say I'm the only one, I must admit it. I get suspicious, just a little suspicious. I get suspicious, just a little suspicious. I get suspicious, just a little suspicious. So tell me what your game is, Cause I haven't slept for days, not slept for days, yeah. Baby, love is never painless, never painless. No, excuse me for being suspicious. When you touch me, feel so good, I can't contain it. When you love to say what you wanna hear. I will bite my tongue till I disappear. Take me apart, let the pieces fall to the cold ground where they belong. I'll play the part of whomever you want me to be, 'cause my identity has been lost to me. Lost to me, lost to me. Take me apart, let the pieces fall to the cold ground where they belong. I'm hanging on to every word that you breathe, because my sanity has been lost to me, lost to me, lost to me, lost to me. Lost to me, lost to me, yeah. I can't find myself, because I don't know who I am without you, without you. 'Cause my identity has been lost to me. I can't find myself, no, because I don't know who I am without you, without you. 'Cause my identity has been lost to me. I can't find myself, because I don't know who I am without you, without you. 'Cause my identity, my identity, my identity, my identity. No, who am I to say what you wanna hear? I will bite my tongue till I disappear. I hate this part, but we can't keep putting it off. I still care, but it's not enough. And it breaks my heart to give up and admit we lost. We still love, but we're not in love. Why do we keep trying to bring back the feelings we know we're gone? Try to see how it still makes sense, 'cause I don't wanna leave. But there are better reasons to stay. Can't no more fading my feelings away. But there are better
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CSL stream, the Collegiate Star League matchup in the playoffs. We have got University of Toronto versus the RIT Tigers here on map number 2. If you just missed it, it was Crackshed and I covering the first map, which was 16-10 in favor of Toronto. And now we've got the second map lined up. This should be a banger. I'm feeling all 3 maps coming our way, and I'm hoping we get an insane matchup here on map number 2.
Hopefully. Here comes Mirage. Toronto on the CT side, and it's going to be a pop flash play. Fried and Fly Cow combine to shut it right down, though. The Balk jungle setup pays off. Seemed like RIT came out a little prematurely there and weren't ready with the smokes down. 2 remain. They've still got them pinched in here on the University of Toronto side, and GW, he spotted some information. He spotted K22 falling away. And both of these players left have no armor to work with. So Pharaoh, he's already going to head underpass here, and he's going to cut them off. They can't go B if they wanted to at this point. Toronto can just sit in some pretty comfortable setups with what they have left. And Toronto should have this round in the bag if they play this correctly. A bomb plant is really all that RIT can hope for, I think.
Yeah, Tigers, they'd have to make a huge mistake to just let this round slip away. And playing a 2-on-2 split, not the worst idea because of the fact that the Tigers, again, lacking that set of Kevlar on them, creates so many more difficulties. K22, this flashing will signal the execution. With 40 seconds left, they don't have time to rotate. Map control gained by the man himself and Pharaoh. It is going to be for Fried to make first contact. MJ does find an initial frag here, but traded back again by Fried, and just one bullet will put MJ in his grave. And it looks like Fried is just going to play this safe, jump spot around, and he'll end up getting a 4K. So a pretty strong start here from Toronto, and nicely done from them. This is the map pick of the Tigers, so already kicking things off with a 1-0 lead on their CT side. Looking strong and potent to kick things off with a bang.
It's looking pretty good for Toronto here. They had a very, very solid showing on Overpass. RIT, without the bomb plant, are going to go the conservative route and go for those early third-round AKs. A very solid choice. They'll just hop through their mid-smoke and try to catch some of these players out. They will get Fly Cow in connector. That's one. Fry, though, he goes big. Takes down one, but the fast boost. K22 going to utilize that new bench to its full potential. Grab himself an AUG, take down one more player, hop his way over to B. GW should be able to shut him down, though. Just tickle him with that MP9, and it'll be a second round for Toronto. If they can get to that AUG, that would be incredible, too. They will. Toronto, they'll take 2 casualties, and they will go for an investment here to mirror the investment from RIT.
Yeah, finally again. These rifle rounds are a big test to both of them in Toronto. They've stood the test for time, and now we'll see it. Toronto, 2-0 leading. Can they make it 3 is the question. The Tigers on their T side. This is their map pick, their home turf to bring us to a third. And I mean, this matchup has already been so insane. So many insane shots, so many insane individual plays that, I mean, I feel this third map coming, and K22 will shine through and find themselves an initial frag. They take down one player towards the B bomb site, weakening it and splitting the defense of Toronto right on to a 2-on-2 split for A and towards B. It is actually going to pull a third player over even. I mean, most of Toronto are invested over towards the B side of the map. Here you've got 2 players ready for a fast rotation, one in connector, one in towards snipers, and the Tigers will sit content here, hold their triggers, hold their W keys, and will be ready for a push. But K22 will have a second chance at a second frag. It looks like he'll capitalize on it. Another player dropped towards the B site. And now it's going to pull more rotations here from Toronto. You can already see the rest of the team. One player, at least in the likes of Fly Cow, will try and get this flank in here on K22. And the rest of the Tigers here ready to take this A bomb site. Majalko is the only player in the likes to make something happen. Does take down Pharaoh. Nice shot from the smoke, however, blocking his line of sight. And the Tigers, they'll basically have a free bomb site here. It's just a question of, off of this refrag from Fly Cow, can they get back into the A bomb site? Doesn't seem like with the bomb plant going down in utility to back up the Tigers, should be on the board here for the T's.
This is a very doable retake with the amount of utility that Toronto have left here. They put a lot of investment in taking down the lurk of K22 that had done so much damage, that had drawn the attention away from this bomb site. Now MJ tapping away from Firebox. He's going to be mullied off. That's exactly why it's called Firebox, and he's going to lose his life to a combination of molly and spam. Oh, Fly Cow coming in, getting one more. There's one more player in rampant Fly Cow. He's on a rampage with the kits in hand. Lots of time left for that defuse. Majalko finishes it off in Toronto. A very clean retake of the A-bomb site. A 4K for Fly Cow. Despite the heroics of K22, RIT still at 0 rounds here as Toronto escaped that one with 3 AKs in hand and a chance to bolster their economy in this half buy that's coming up from RIT.
I'm surprised, honestly, that Toronto were able to get back into that round. It really didn't seem likely, but again, the Magic's, the heroics pull off here on their CT side, and investment here from the Tigers in the ways of pistols. They'll invest over towards the A bomb set and go for this full execution. Smoke in towards stairs, smoke out, or maybe even a flash. No, it's going to be smoke towards jungle to get themselves onto the site here. The claps in here. Lucy caught full blind. It's a slaughter here. So much damage onto that nade. Not able to connect down onto anything but Fly Cow. That smoke is not a wall, and it does take him down. Here's Zab falling. Pharaoh as well. Pharaoh now has to battle his way into this one. Takes the player down towards CT. It's 1-3 in low HP. He gets the lineup. Fried finds him through the box even, and it's going to be a 4th round here for Toronto. A clean take from the Tigers. They won't be too dissatisfied with it. Getting that bomb plant down is a huge bonus. But 4-0 Toronto. Lovely start on their CT side, similar to their start on Overpass, and now they're resonating their dominance from Overpass into the second map, and Tigers struggling to find some footing to begin things off.
Toronto 4 rounds here. Very solid start to Mirage. RIT going to Mirage. And, you know, in my opinion, having this as your map pick or your solid map isn't as much of a benefit as having a map like Overpass, Train, Nuke, something like that. Something that's a little less common. Because pretty much everybody knows how to play Mirage. You have to know how to play Mirage the same way you have to know how to play Dust 2 or Inferno. I don't know. Just you can see Toronto is playing that same kind of CT side that they did on Overpass. They're getting aggressive, and Fly Cow comes out the connector smoke and shows us exactly that, taking down K22 in the underpass and giving Toronto an early advantage.
Yep, again, you talked about the aggression, the comfortable, relaxed stance here from Toronto. And they take that early control here, but it will be traded back out here from MJB. Gets that mid control once more, and he'll be looking to cause more havoc further in the rounds here. That smoke does extinguish that Molotov thrown from MJB, so rendered essentially useless. And the rest of the Tigers spread throughout their wings, strewn throughout the map here. Will be now looking to execute towards the B bomb site with 3 players stacked up. Actually, just 2. They have a fast rotator to Fly Cow. It's going to be Zav to take down GW. That's going to weaken the site here. Leave Fried to do all of the heavy lifting now. Execution coming in here from the Tigers, and they will use the utility Molotov towards market to keep the rotations delayed here. Fly Cow, he's going to, like his name says, just fly out of market window. We're looking for a 5th frag, or a 5th round here, I should say, as RRT, they're going to be slowed down to a snail's pace, stagnant on the site now as Fly Cow can maneuver around the map here. He gets 2, flicks back for the 4th. He's looking for the ace. He knows the last player's location, and a 1 versus 2 for Farrell. 20 seconds left, reinforced now by Majalko, and Fly Cow out towards E-Bucks to get the ace now. It is going to be Majalko, and a lovely round there from Toronto. They lock it down, and RIT Tigers are struggling for any footing in this second map.
Very solid stuff. Again, like I said, there's not a lot to analyze here other than the fact that Toronto's got the holds, they've got the setup, they're varying where they're playing, they're making it hard for RIT to guess where they're playing. RIT not getting a lot done on these ecos, and Toronto way out in front at this point. They're looking to close this one out at a 2-0, and after having a little bit of trouble in the first half of Overpass, it's not looking the same here on Mirage. They've got an okay economy built on a couple of players here. Fly Cow at 11-2. Fried not too far behind him at 7-2. And we've got not a lot going on in terms of heroics from the T side. It's K22 to step up so far. He made a little bit of noise towards the B side at the start of a round. And if they can go back to that kind of default where they have a player find an opening and then they sit on it and maybe make the right call for a full execute, not losing the post plant, that's likely their ticket to success here. And the fact that they're lacking an op as well to deal with a potential op on the CT side or to find a pick, like I said, they need that opening pick to really force Toronto into an uncomfortable position, because right now, if you let Toronto get comfortable on their CT side, you see the exact result of it in the scoreline.
Yeah, they're really starting to run away with it at this point in time, the Tigers. Hopefully that tactical timeout gave them some insight as to what's been going wrong here, and they need to find something now. This is their map pick, the second map elimination, possibly, or dropping them at least to the lower bracket. 5-0 Toronto. No up for anyone just yet on the map. And the Tigers, this is the buy that they've been waiting for. 5 AKs, 5 sets of utility, and everything going for them. They need to muster something. They need to get it fast before things again get Toronto too comfortable, and they will show you just how comfortable they will be on a map. And on their CT side, becomes all the more worrisome here. Tang's already onto Lucy, dropped down to 35. Smoke from GW. delays anyone towards apartments. And already Toronto have this map control asserted. They have phenomenal control out towards the middle. GW now getting control towards apartments. And again, you allow them to get comfortable. They'll show you just why you can't. And also from Pharaoh towards underpass doesn't catch anyone for the time being. RIT Tigers, oh, they give up the first casualty, can progress down towards middle and maybe just find something. Fly Cow and Fried, a staple so far in this matchup. And we mentioned just how frag heavy Fly Cow has been, and continuing that aggression, continuing that dominance here. Zav finally trading one out here. It is trying to get the frag back here. Lucy catch him off guard here as looks like their RT Tigers have stormed the A bomb set and will get the spawn plant down. But again, low HP on both Feral and Lucy. This is very doable for Toronto. They have got utility to work with. 3 flashbangs in a smoke. This is very viable for them if they want to go forward. And with low HP on Feral and Uwu, or Lucy, not Uwu, they've definitely have a chance here as already GW clears out the first. He's going to take down Lucy and will again continue that aggression as well up towards Palace on low HP. Will look to find something, but nothing being shown here from the Tigers. They'll hold things off now.
No.
And they're going to go for it. Flashbang smokes being used, and MJ, he's in a position to do damage here, but low HP on Feral. As soon as that bomb is tapped, they're going to have to swing for it. We'll get the first frag, but a trade back in towards Rip. There's no time left for GW. Bomb will be held here, and GW flashbang on it. Might have a chance. Does he actually get it? No. MJ peeks out, not affected by the flash, and they will get themselves on the board. 5-1. Finally getting something.
That flash, unfortunately, just caught the edge of that stair. If he would have thrown it just a little bit further forward and avoided the awkward clipping that is the A bomb site, I mean, he had a chance at that, to be honest. That was a pretty well played retake from Toronto. RIT, though, they will get on the board with a round. They'll escape. And throughout these previous rounds, they've been limiting the economy of Toronto such that 2 players are relegated to a deagle already. And Pharaoh, he's pushed all the way up top mid. There is an abundance of confidence here on the Toronto players, despite their lackluster buy. Although trying to go for something towards B, they really haven't been able to deal with K22 very well on that side of the map. That's been the only part of the map that they've been having trouble with, and now that's going to force a peek out from Flying Cow, Moose, MJB, taking him down over towards the A bomb site. Now further clearing, but no group yet for RIT. They haven't done any sort of grouping, and they need to pick a site and just hit together at this point. Not allow any of these individual plays to work. We see Fried going for the peak. Doesn't find a kill. Sphero picks up the op, and this should be... I mean, they could probably save what they have, if I'm being honest. Like, if they don't get a kill on the entry into the B-bomb site, they're already guessing it as is. They have no presence here. Once they realize this is B, they could just save, and that'd probably be best case scenario for them.
Yeah, they need to find something. Feral, that is beautiful. Take down the op, and yeah, this is definitely save territory now. Fried will retrieve the op, and they're just going to back away. It looks like the Deagle and Majalko will go on the hunt to look for some exit frags. Has a player approaching, they might just be able to put this AK. One D goes in, they'll back away with the AK and that AWP. If they can save it, huge financial bonus to them, and a huge weapon pickups going into the next round. But 5-2 the Tigers. It's looking a little bit more confident, a little bit more comfortable from them, and that's what you want to see if you're going to try and stay alive and head to map number 3. So 5-2 the Tigers, bringing things back and making it doable for them. This first half was looking so dominant here from Toronto, but now the Tigers 2 rounds in a row cutting that momentum from Toronto in half, and we'll see if they can continue that momentum, continue to snowball things. But 5-2 Toronto saving that op, and AK will be a huge benefit into the next round, and they won't even need to force up because they won't really have too many financial troubles. They can save here. The rest of the players can save. They can hold on to the op, the AK, not really invest too much in the ways of utility, and I mean they'll be set terms of financially, I imagine. But Tigers, 5 AKs, no op being pulled out just yet, and they're poised to take this third round. And if Toronto are able to pull this one off, pull off a 6, that would be a huge upset. And oh, they did buy what?
Yeah, this is a weird decision from Toronto here. They could let all the hard work that they put in early on here to have such a dominant early CT side slip away. I mean, Mirage is becoming more and more T-sided by the day. Choosing to buy in this situation, but I guess if it works, why not? Pharaoh's gone towards the A ramp. He's found information, picked up an AK. He can relay that over to Fly Cow if he can get into a good enough position, and then play up close with his Deagle, although it doesn't look like Fly Cow is anywhere close because Fly Cow and Majalko, they're pushing up lower B, and they're finding information. They know that RIT is nowhere to be found towards the B site, and soon you're going to see all those little blue dots move over towards the A bomb site as RIT gear up for what is likely to be a stack. Unbeknownst to them, I mean, they're not really going to know that they're running into a stack, but the sooner they get this execute off, the better chance they have at winning the round.
Yeah, and like you said, all the information relayed to MJB. He might get caught here by the Deagle. The timing, Flycow can come in here fast and shut everything down with his Eagle. It would back away just for now, but Flycow, they don't know his presence, and they don't know Pharaoh's up top here. AK in his hand, and the Dream as he swings out wide, taken down by Lucy. She's ready for it and eliminates Pharaoh as they swing onto the side once more. Bomb goes down here, but look at Pride in a position to do so much damage. Drops the bomb as well. 25 seconds left. Already claps it in here as Majal going towards Sandwich. It's a one-on-one. Swinging out here, but it is going to be K22 to pull off the clutch. Such a dicey round from both sides, but the RIT Tigers, they claw themselves back into this first half and will take a third round for themselves, 5-3. And that forced by that strange buy puts Toronto in a situation where they need to save once more. And if they saved in the last round, they could have such a strong buy to really contest it. But again, it was an investment in the last round and almost gave them the spoils of war. So not a bad call from them, I guess. So they can invest 4 deals into this one, but Toronto losing some momentum, losing some backing as the Tigers start to pick the pace up.
Pace has definitely been changed. Momentum has swung in the favor of the Tigers, and Toronto saving here after what we both called a peculiar buy in the previous round. It came right down to the wire, but RIT winning it is giving them, okay, GW, we get it. You can spam a wall with the Deagle. K22. He's left worse for wear. I mean, like I had said earlier, they're having a lot of trouble dealing with his presence in apartments, so I guess just spamming a wall and hoping for the best has rendered them the most damage so far. Bogdan's Law has been applied in T-spawn, and K22 will be on the op heading into the A site execute. RIT have had mixed results with this so far, but they've mostly gotten into the bomb site free and clear, and Farrell with a nice entry, that's going to help them out this time around. Zav and Connector looking to connect on to GW. He will. Farrell does chime in the site, taking down Lucy. Zav one more for his troubles, and it's going to be Fried and CT. Oh, Farrell again over top of the smoke. All right.
We've seen so many insane headshots, and it's essentially just a constellation frag, and he goes down inevitably, but nice shot from him. 3 versus 2 again. Toronto, this is a horrible round from him. Maybe Fried can get away with one more. Doesn't look like it. Clock comes out from Farrell and 5-4. The Tigers 4 rounds in a row. They're starting to claw their way back. You can finally hear that roar of them. And 5-4 again. Another buy here from Toronto. They've saved up the cash and they can invest into this one with a strong buy. Utility abundant on everyone and the firepower as well. This is a real test for both teams. Toronto haven't been able to cope with these rifle rounds too well, and now that they have their own rifles, they can hopefully claw themselves around here. But the Tigers, we talked about the momentum, the morals, or the morale on both teams, and the Tigers are starting to build that one up slowly but surely. The snowball effect is starting to favor them, and again, Toronto, despite losing those 4 rounds, you can see the confidence, aggression shown towards mitigating that early control. But MJ, I like the opposition. A little gap in the smoke gives him a line of sight here, but he doesn't spot the player towards Ben. But Farrell, however, he wants to take all the fights towards middle. He'll just have a one-on-one against Lucy. Flashbang is in. Allows him to swing here, but they don't find any contact just yet. Toronto, despite that aggression, will be forced to back away. Lucy with the gap in the smoke can capitalize on the frag and will do so. Farrell falls and a careless mistake made from Toronto. Confidence turns into cockiness and mana dropped. 5-on-4. The Tigers with the man advantage to go into this round. Have this mid-control and really can go about their day.
Well, an early advantage, and yeah, I like what you said there. I mean, playing the confidence game nets you a lot for what you're risking if you're hitting your shots, but when you're not, and when the other team starts to claw back the way the Tigers have, I mean, then you kind of have to shift gears. You have to shift back into a play style that respects your opponent more and plays more calculated. Sometimes it can be hard for teams to shift gears in those situations, and we're seeing the results of that here as RIT once again selects the A site as their point of entry, and Sam will find the first and the second. Fried tries to come through the smoke. K22 as well finding a kill. MJ looking for the last player. A nice flick, and we've got a tie game here. 5-5 RIT. They've equalized.
It looks so dominant from Toronto, kicking the first quarter, I could say, of the first half, and all of a sudden the Tigers swing right back around, and now they're the predators hunting down the prey of Toronto. They were right on their tails, equalizing now. We're looking to steal the half away. I mean, the match is just starting to heat up here. They find themselves an equalizer. Both teams have amassed 5 runs in a row, but one of them have been cut short, and the Tigers looking to continue that streak and steal away a 6th here and take the lead back for them on their map pick. And Toronto, with so much work to do, with so much to collect and so much information to process, the Tigers, they've got so much confidence on them, so much to benefit them now as utility and firepower favors them in this round, and they should easily be able to pick up a 6 unless some heroic deagle plays come out from GW. Underneath the balcony, we'll look for something. Farrell is on the alert queue. We'll be able to catch Farrell. Ironic. That off. Nice flick, and that's going to be a cue for this B execution. Farrell will pick up the bomb as well, drops it a little bit closer. Actually, they're not going to commit to it. They're playing a little bit more disciplined than I thought they would have at first, so let's make something happen. Fly Cal will find one of his own here and equalizes 4-on-4, but the Tigers still so much in their favor, so much going in their way that Toronto will need so much to find themselves back into this matchup, or back in at least in this first half, as they just have 3 Eagles and a CZ to work around. That AK cannot be retrieved, and Tigers are getting ready for this B execution. Smoke towards market, and they'll go for the full frontal assault. MJ with the op leading, spearheading the charge now as he will look to execute onto the site. Op will hunt some players down here. If smoke goes over, and that's going to cue the rotations in from Toronto.
Sav looking for the entry into the bomb site. The boosted player, Fried, is going to find one here. Not long for life in this position, though. That's generally a one and done, but one that's tough to check. GW does his job as well, but Lucy getting 2, and Flying Cow Moose, the man with a Mad Lib for a name, is going to try to find a 1v2 in this situation. Looking for an opening here. Oh, Farrell's going to jump up and just take the fight to Fly Cow, but he does win that fight. Lucy under the window. Looking into the sky, trying to find diamonds, and will. It's a 6th round for RIT. Great round from Lucy as well.
Yep, picking up that. Finally a lead here for the Tigers. It feels like it's been so long since they've actually been up in terms of rounds, in Toronto slightly lacking now as we move into the later parts of this first half. 12 rounds being played. We'll head into number 12. And the Tigers, all the momentum on their side. A double op being shown here from Toronto. We saw how successful it was on Overpass. Does it resonate here on a map like Mirage is the question. Such a different dynamic and such a different strategy when everyone knows how to play around the map, and confidence levels are high here for the Tigers. Again, asserting mid dominance now as 3 players aggressive, still swinging towards connector, try and catch the player with the op. Backed up towards stairs. Oh, he still finds it. Fly Cow and Farrell find a double. MJ gets a trade back, but Majal go up close in towards ramp. Is going to be able to catch Farrell, swinging in through the smoke and Fried as well. It's a collapse here for the Tigers. Their attack, just as fast as it started, just as fast as their momentum started, will be shut down here in a 1-on-4 for MJB. It'll be a miraculous clutch, and even then, he is a player of caliber to take this one into contest, but seems a little bit nothing short of a miracle at this point in time.
I mean, damage is going to be the name of the game right here. University of Toronto already have the double op. The Tigers are aware of it too, with Fried and Flycat both finding frags in this round. MJ is just going to try to take down any of these rifles that he can. Force rebuys on the CT side. Toronto has finally taken a step back into contention in this one. Oh, MJB going to spot one out, and Sandwich going to unwittingly bait with his barrel. Fly Cow holding the cross is going to be mollied out. Needs to stay in front of it. Holds for the timing shot. Does catch MJ. They will manage to maintain the double op setup on the side of Toronto, and we have a tied at 6th game. Of course, RIT, they're still heavily in the driver's seat, I think, here. Yeah, this is a good time for a pause, regardless of which team called it. I think RIT calls it because, you know, they can freeze Toronto, essentially, not let them build any momentum, make them overthink things potentially, and on their side of it, they could even really make sure that they hammer this one home. At one point on this map, let's remember, we were like looking at this and saying, okay, this is going to be a 2-0. Toronto is looking so dominant. RIT had nothing going for them at the start of this round, but they've really woken up.
Yep, really starting to find themselves putting the pieces together. And this tack timeout, like you said, whichever team calls it, if it is Tigers, smart from them. They shut down the momentum of Toronto, and if Toronto pick it up, well, they do pick up that round. Tigers, like you mentioned, are still in the driver's seat. They're steering this boat, and they're steering it to victory right now, and could actually possibly be a tech. I'm not too sure. It seems a little bit too long for a tactical timeout, but yeah. Both teams. This is looking like a third map, I'm not going to lie. The Tigers with all this momentum. The question is, not if they can keep it up on their T side. It's can they bring it onto their CT side, because it's so hard to transition from T to CT and carry that momentum going into it. And especially on a map like Mirage, becomes all the more difficult because I wouldn't say it's so heavily favoring the Ts nowadays, but I mean, it's obviously more or less a T set map in Toronto. They know it as well. They'll be looking to bring it back on their T side, but the Tigers, again, the question remains, can they bring it onto their CT side? Their first half is looking strong from them. And this is their map pick, so they're hoping more than likely they can bring it onto their CT side. But it does seem like this is a technical pause, and I wonder who's having the tech problems. Probably K22, but I mean, tech pause, take some time, relax, grab a drink or something. Get the nerves calm, and Toronto know it as well, just how dangerous the Tigers can be.
Yeah, I mean, getting back into this one, this would be a huge round for Toronto to win. An even bigger one for RIT to win. Again, this is RIT's pick. They need to win this to send it to a third map. This has been a tight series all the way through, although it hasn't quite been this close, I think, in terms of each team going on a bit of a run here. Okay, Fried's going to take a ton of damage here, but Pharaoh goes for a walk up the cat, and he'll find an opening frag here. Toronto with the early advantage, and that was just a lurk over towards mid, because it's an A-side hit from RIT, and they're hoping that they can catch Toronto without the utility in their hands. Those mollies are going to keep the T side at bay, though. These are some good counter utility used from the CT side. They can rotate all their members here. Of course, they are still locked out of the bomb site, but those smokes are going to be nearly faded by the time the Tigers are making their way into the bomb site. So this is a very possible hold from Toronto. And even then, it could be a retake scenario as well. K22 traded out, FlyCow finding 2 from the jungle position as Lucy, or rather CT, as Lucy up on the bench up close is going to try to make something of this with Farrell.
Yeah, but still a sticky scenario here. Lucy will be able to find the first on TGW. There's an opening, a second as well from Farrell. No way they pull this one back. Fried, however, this top position is so primed up. He catches the first player crossing, takes him down, repositions and plays it to perfection. Fried takes him down. RIT Tigers finally give the lead back up to Toronto, and it's going to be 7-6. That's a lovely stuff from there from Fried, and that is beautiful display of op skill. And the Tigers dropping the lead here. They go into the pistols, and I don't know. Toronto, I mean, we said the Tigers said we're the driving seat, but now Toronto are kind of bringing it right back into their favor. This is so darn close. It's coming right down to the wire here in this first half, and I'm excited to see what the second half entails.
We will see. Oh, Pharaoh, once again, the early aggression on the CT side is going to pay off in the form of 2 kills as RIT goes for the typical mid swing with pistols, and kind of a meme strat, more of a pug strat, just to swing wide with pistols in mid. But if I'm being honest, it makes a lot of sense. You get a chance to potentially take down an op in window. You got the Deagle to work with. In the meantime, they've taken all this attention away from the B site. There's a player in ladder and a player up catwalk for Toronto, trying to make something happen.
With not a lot of HP on MJ, he's just going to try and bait into this. Never mind, K22 is going to spearhead the charge once more. 2 players stacked up here from Toronto. The 2-2 split's going to favor them so well now, and launching the Molotov in. Fried caught out with the AWP. That's another beautiful flick shot. Takes down Lucy, and GW repositions and gets himself another as well. MJ on 9 points of health, or 7 points of health. Doesn't stand a chance of down. The op here from Fried should be actually not enough, actually. MJ takes him down. Will finally be traded out. Just a single frag for him, and funny enough, he finds that frag on a Friday who's been on fire so far. P250 is what takes him out, ironically enough. But 8-6. Toronto have stolen the half for the time being, and the RIT Tigers will have another bye going into the final round of the first half. So we'll see what they can make of, if they can bring it 8-7, or it falls 9-6 in favor of Toronto. I mean, this is a very crucial round for the Tigers, because they look so dominant. They had control of everything 5 rounds in a row, 6 or so rounds in a row, and it's just been stolen out of their hands once more. Toronto with the lead. Last round of the first half, they're looking to make it 9-6, and the Tigers need to claw back to make it 8-7.
Honestly, I don't want to undermine you or anything here, but I'm going to go with a tactical disagreement. I don't think this round is entirely that important for RIT. Given how this game started, because of the context of that, I think getting away from this half 9-6, sure, 8 to 7 would be even better, and that would be great. But getting 6 rounds after going 5 rounds down early, having almost nothing going for you, having Toronto just running rampant across the map, and then being able to find 6 rounds there, that shows some good resolve. And they definitely are not out of this one yet, regardless of what happens in this round. So with that, oh, Lucy gonna try to use that bench, maybe catch Pharaoh going for a walk. Pharaoh's done this a number of times, so RIT reading into this and trying to play this round a little bit slower. They've actually got some mid presence instead of just hanging out outside of A, which has been generally their formula for success so far.
Now they're gonna go for this B split now. Players rotating in towards underpass. Fair will pick up the bomb here, but they need to wait for it here. They're gonna hold off the execution for now. And that gives more time for Toronto to rotate over, but they don't have any map control towards A, and so just going to be a 2 versus 5 over on the B bomb site now as MJB, the spearhead of this full frontal assault, holding here with the Yacht will now start to push his way out here. K22 wants to make things happen, looking for something, opens us up with one. GW on the trade, but it is dropping Lucy. Boots touches the ground and she's got the frag. Bomb goes down here, Feral. A 4-on-3 Molotov from Fry does create a chance now. M4 this time around, no op to work with, and that nade, significant damage down, and Majalko here to reinforce. Opportunity presented for Toronto as they get this retake ready, but the Tigers are looking to lock this one away and get themselves to 7. Blink comes in, trades go back and forth, the 2-on-2 now as 2 are found here for Toronto, a 1-on-2. As traded back now, MJ missing a crucial shot to close it out, misses even the second, it is just whiffs all around, flying out of the market window, trades it back to a 1-on-1. This is even more close than I could have expected. He can stick the bomb as well. He knows that MJ has to go for it. Flashbang is in. He's going to double flash it. There's a chance he wins this. No way he pulls it off here. The Glock pulled out just in the nick of time for MJ. 8 to 7. The Tigers make the first half close enough for them. They will presumably find a way to get back into this second half, but 8 to 7, Toronto lead. We're just hoping that the Tigers can pick up this pistol round.
That half brought to you by GameStop once again. Power to the players. Thank you to our sponsor GameStop and HyperX for making the season happen. And of course, get ready because we're close to the LAN finals to be held in Las Vegas, April 17th to 19th. I gotta make sure I got that date right now that I'm saying it out loud. It doesn't sound right. Am I right?
Yeah, I think you're right. April 17th.
All right, sweet.
Close.
All right, that's good. Either way, 8 to 7. Good half from both sides. I think it was the 17th and 19th. Is that what my shoulder angel's saying? Yes. Okay, I'm right. Sweet. I like to hear that I'm right.
The first time forever. First time in forever.
You serious?
I predicted pistol round.
This guy's throwing me under the bus. This little kid throwing me under the bus in front of nearly 7,000 people. We thank each and every one of you guys for hanging out with us tonight here at Collegiate Star League. Some great playoff action taking place. If you're just joining us, of course, Toronto did take the first map 16 to 10, and RIT on their map pick here, they're going aggressive in ramp, and it's a trade fest towards ramp. Feral getting 2. That's a risky play, but one that's going to pay off. Oh, maybe not for a second. Fried is going to wait and bide his time, take down Feral, who tried to get opposite side of ramp, thinking that it was clear, but the bomb will now fall into control of Toronto, and they've got a really good chance in this pistol. They've got a player all the way pushed up into CT. It's going to be a pair of 1v1 duels here as Lucy takes down Pharaoh in CT, and that's going to make this job of Fried Riz all much harder. He will just burst his Glock, take down MJB. They know where Lucy is. Fried can't go through CT, so he's got to hit this cat movement. Okay, maybe not.
Oh, no, he's faking him out. Fried. Jumping straight back in towards the A side. I don't think Lucy's aware of this as well. Maybe thinking that Fried went back towards the B site. Perhaps that aggression from the Tigers will pay off its dividends as Lucy's got to pull off the 1-on-1 clutch. Drops a smoke here. Fried that's gonna fake Lucy out even more as he's gonna head back towards the B site. The bomb can go down here in Toronto. They've at least secured a bomb plant, and there's an opportunity for the upcoming round where they can invest, they can buy, and they can again put the side of Tigers on their toes. Bomb down here, and it's just a single bullet to put Fried Rez in. And he really does need to just play this to perfection, play a position that might be overlooked here by Lucy, and getting ready for the execution. The CTs, they know how crucial this pistol round is to regain the lead, to regain stability in their map now as Lucy readying up the execution, readying up the retake, has the kit to work with, and Fried in a position that is commonly known. But does Lucy check it is the question. Bomb is ticking ever so low, and Lucy needs to clear it and will do so. It's going to be a pistol round picked up for the Tigers and an equalizer amassed as it will be 8 to 8. Can they pick up this next upcoming round? It's a question of one following as the University of Toronto will have a pretty decent buy off that bomb plant.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge pistol round to take. That was some. It got a little dicey. Let's be honest. That was a really weird call. I don't see that a lot. You don't see a CT push into A ramp and just taking the fight to the T's. Of course, it's unorthodox, but I guess it'll pay off. I mean, yeah, I guess it'll pay off with Lucy finding that pistol clutch, and it's going to be 8-8 now, tied up. We saw a similar scoreline on Overpass here. Both teams taking a string of rounds in the first half. We'll see if that's a similar story this time around on Mirage. Because of the bomb plant, they will go for the hero buy where they toss a couple of AKs over, and an SG will be on Fly Cow. That's definitely the player you want that gun to be in the hands of if you're Toronto.
The best weapons money could buy in this scenario. Hero AKs and Hero Kriegs, like you said, are going to take this mid dominance early on here, gain that control. MJB will be rendered useless due to the smoke, but can find a reposition. Deagle's being shown here. Farrell flashbang in and wins the first off of the MP9. Gonna get the second, and lovely dink as well onto Fried. Backs away, and he doesn't go down, but he does so much damage that position. Lovely stuff from Farrell. Will have to reposition straight to the side paneling. Doesn't catch him just yet. And Toronto sitting not too hot at this point in time. And Tiger sitting very comfortably at this stage here as Fly, again, looking to initiate this execution. Frags flying back and forth there. K22 from the flank towards Catwalk, catches flying towards Connector. Again, no chance at it. Cotton made a reload, but Pharaoh still manages the workload and takes him down. Molotov keeping him on his toes. He's getting a little bit too cozy towards it, but he does take a slight bit of damage. Might even go down, able to back away. 52 points of health and 10 seconds left. This is a 9th round here for the Tigers, and they will again resume the lead. And finally, they will have their say in this matchup. 9-8, coming down to the wire here in a round like this. As Pharaoh gets an exit back, he doesn't want to go down here. Economy troubles will brew. If he does, he might just MP9. He goes down. Pharaoh, no cash whatsoever. 750 and 0 on Friday. He does have that AK to carry over, but man, Toronto struggling financially now. They might just want to invest into this one, given the fact that Pharaoh has nothing in Friday as well. But the Tigers, 9-8, regain the lead. And are looking to spill the beans and again continue this momentum.
They'll try their best. Of course, Fried still has the AK in hand. But it's an odd scenario, of course. Pharaoh, just $50 to work with. Toronto's been stuck in this position in the past and hasn't worked out too well for them. I mean, looking back at the first half, right? They went for that weird force buy that both of us questioned. And then now we're looking at a game where RIT is now in the driver's seat. They were winning 5-0 at one point in this game. Farrell going to continue on that path, though, taking down 2 in Palace. Zav as well joining in on the fun. Will shut down Pharaoh with K22 to find a frag. MJ trying to deal with the lone AK of Fried Riz.
Pretty easy round for the Tigers. No real damage done just yet as the Tigers 9-8 will find themselves a 10th round. Double digits accumulated in Toronto. We talked about maybe a hint of a third map. It looked unlikely going into that first half, but now the Tigers are starting to get themselves back into becoming the real predators of this server, and Fried will be lucky to get back away with this AK. That's kind of the best scenario where he's able to save the AK and carry it over so the rest of his team can invest with him. But again, even saving that AK will not give him any utility. It won't give him really anything to work off in the upcoming round. And he might just want to go out and, well, I don't want to say die, but maybe give his life as tribute. Takes one down with him. So he does go down with a fight. And 10-8, the Tigers finding themselves onto double digits. The Toronto side will look to invest into this one. Weak buy here from Friday and weak buy from Pharaoh, but the rest can muster some type of Krieg, some type of AK-47, and what will be a scrappy buy from Toronto on the opposing side. The Tigers, as their name stands, a strong apex predator in this matchup. 10-8 leading in this map, looking to pull things away. Again, steering clearly in the driver's seat. That smoke doesn't completely land from Toronto, and that gives a slight gap for MJ to work off of, but Toronto, they're not too worried of it. They see the gap. Pharaoh realizes it and will deploy another smoke to fill up the gap.
The slow mid default this time from Toronto, trying to find some kind of opening. We're seeing a stark contrast, I think, between the two styles of play. I mean, RIT did kind of opt for this towards the end of the first half, but it was very quick and decisive. You saw when they wanted to go away, there was no hesitation about it. And despite counter utility coming in, they didn't second guess their decisions. Here on Toronto's side, it's very, very slow. They've lurked a player into connector, and they're going to try to work off of the map control gained. But Zap, he's causing problems for Majalko. Falls in Palace. K22 as well, going to take down a cat player. That's Fried to fall. And Farrell joining in on the fun. Taking one down in connector. That's the Titan Fly Cow down. Another falling. Farrell takes down Pharaoh. And this is a clean wipe from the Tigers so far. This is somewhat of the danger. This is the downside to playing that slow default style, is that once one piece of the puzzle falls, it's like dominoes.
And similar to that, once you get the snowball going, it'll continue to roll and gather more and more snow, as right now the Tigers looking so strong going into this second half and already up 11-8. This is looking very strong for them. 4 rounds in a row, very similar to what we saw against Toronto on Overpass. So perhaps Toronto can bring things back, but looking very unlikely at this point in time. Again, the driver's seat, they're steering this car, they're steering the truck right into a brick wall and taking Toronto down. And they're looking to keep themselves afloat with those airbags. And for now, full pistol investment here from the University of Toronto. A push over towards the A bomb site. They'll all group up in towards Palace. At least 4 of them will. And look to pop out here now. Just leaving Zab to kind of manage the workload. They do have Farrell and the out in the hands of MJB to do a fast rotation around here. But it looks like it is going to be mainly Zav dealing with it. Let's start to rotate back around here. MJB and Zav repositioning. And still Toronto yet to go for this execution. They have the single flashbang, and looks like Fried will come back around and see what they can do. Up in the hands of MJB. Toronto readying up this execution, starting to get their way out here, but it's a slaughter as they come out of the Palace. No one gets away scot-free. No frags found for Toronto. No casualties on the RIT side, and it is absolute slaughter fest here as everyone falls. Nothing for Toronto. 12-8 the Tigers. What a start for them.
Yeah, this has been an absolute glow up in terms of how RIT looked at the start of this map to how they look now. Now they're just, confidence flowing, moving around the map. The rotations are solid. They're clearing out a lot of these tough angles to clear as CTs when you're moving across the map and trying to get ready for a site hit. Toronto not able to do much on their eco there, but once again, they do have rifles in their hands and are going to look to turn the tides in their favor. That's a good start. Fried going to take down Farrell and Connector, holding the top of that smoke. Zav trying to equalize and ramp, but an awkward fight will go the way of RIT. That's going to equalize things. Well, barely. I guess Zav surviving with 6 HP is not exactly where you want to be, especially with Toronto picking you off like that. Fly Cow and GW combined for 2. Fly Cow finishing off Zav, who was lit up from his ramp fight. And that leaves Lucy all alone. Over towards the B site in market. Toronto looking to get a 9th round here, and very likely to do so. They have not put a dent in the economy of their opposition here. RIT still doing pretty well in the money department. But Toronto, this is a solid play from them. Oh, Lucy. He caught vision of GW. That's one of those scenarios where everybody in TeamSpeak says, you saw him.
Well, Lucy's going to be able to back away with 1. And perhaps even more as continuing to lurk around towards CT. Looking for something, Lucy is. And holding on to dear life. Flashbang is in. Miss flash, not exactly thrown from Friday. Stuck to his hand like glue. And Lucy's going to try and make some more collateral damage. Keep them on the side of, at this point, just looking for as many casualties on the Toronto side here. But nothing more except for the first 2. And again, yeah, like you said, no real economy damage done to RIT. They've got so much cash behind them and so much backing them up. They can continue to invest, and they will find themselves with a strong buy. 12-9 leading, 3 rounds ahead, and Toronto still trying to get this ball rolling, trying to get everything underway, as currently RIT still steering this car and still driving ahead and pulling away from Toronto. Will be a full investment over towards the B site. 3 players or 4 players posted up now. Is this just going to be a full B rush here as soon as they get the Q, as soon as they get a single flash in? If it is, then balls to the walls. I guess props to them. Nade in from Lucy does significant damage on Pharaoh, drops him down to 62, and damage found already to begin with. Toronto will be significantly weakened going into it here, and Pharaoh and Lucy can hold things off. Execution coming in now. Mijalko caught in a Molotov across there. I like this one from Lucy, holding it up here, drops the bomb. Mijalko, bomb is in the middle of the site here. Molotov delay them even further than just starting out here. But it's collateral damage now as Pharaoh lines them all up. MJB, that Molotov burns GW to a crisp, and it's just on the fly cow. The success in the prior round is very short-lived as it's collapsed here, and it will be a 13th round for the Tigers. Unless Flycow can pull off some miracle here, and it'll be nothing short of a miracle as 4 players stand between him and the round, and double digits will not be found for Toronto. So 13-9, the Tigers. Solid stuff in this round again. I mean, they pick up that first round, Toronto, but the Tigers well adjusted to the situation, and this time it's their turn to look comfortable on their CT side, whereas Toronto looking distraught and distressed here on their T side.
Flycow, I mean, saving this. We've seen this time and time again from both sides. He probably wants to go down just to keep the money even, but RIT shutting this round down is big news for them. If they can make sure that they maintain this aggression and maintain control of the map the way that they are, we're likely looking at a 3rd map. And with Toronto playing the way that they are, I mean, they've got a couple players standing out. Flycow and Fried are up on the 20 frag plateau, but still 4 rounds back, and a buy on this round, it's not looking too good for at least one of their players here. GW will go on to the Deagle with the smoke, and it looks like they're going to go for the tried and true A execute. When all else fails, why don't we just smoke off A?
Well, the only problem with that is when our RIT Tigers are just on fire right now. That Krieg in the hands of Pharaoh, scoped in, locked in onto Pharaoh's head. Does actually get a body frag, but still, you get the point. Toronto, they'll going for this execution. It doesn't seem like much will come from it. I mean, the Tigers clean everything up nicely. Zav with 1, Pharaoh with 1 as well. It's a lovely shutdown here, as it is just going to be Flycow to try to manage the load, as finally Fried will try and make an appearance over towards Palace. But again, not much in the ways of frags, and K22 should win that duel. He does so nicely, just making a little bit of a mess of it, but able to mop the spillings up. Then 1-on-4, Flycow doesn't even want to save this AK. I imagine not. Keep the economy stable and just give your life up. It'll be 14-9, and man, Tigers, if anyone was steering this car, I'd imagine it is, well, the Tigers. Ooh, Zav gonna make a quick end to this round. 40 seconds left, is on the flank already, and MJB just holding towards stairs. Flycow between a rock and a hard places, and under 3 minutes. K22 scoped in on a ramp will take him down. It's gonna be 14-9. The Tigers leading by 5 rounds, looking very strong now as Toronto. I mean, the frag power on both Fried and Flycow, they're leading the server, at least on their side, and the only player ahead of them is Feral. And despite their frag prowess, they're not able to get much in the ways of rounds. And you can see a clear despondency on Toronto. They had the momentum in the first map, and it's just been lost here. Not resonating into this one, and need to find something back into this map quickly before things spiral out of control. They can still win it in 16-14 fashion. All 30 rounds will be played, but the only world I see where they pull this one off is in the 3rd map. Here's MJB scoped in towards middle, takes the first player crossing. Majalko goes down. An initial frag found will slow things down for Toronto. Fried with a refrag will be successful in doing so, holding their frag on a Zaz, trades it out 4-on-4. And Toronto slowing things down still to a standstill towards middle.
Flash into connector. This is a rare position for Toronto to be in. But Fried going down in ramp. Feral, he's untested and unwavering towards that A site. There's no one who's been able to deal with him quite the way that Toronto would like to. As you can see, he's just been winning every duel towards that A ramp position. MJB wanting to take a peek towards that lower connector angle, but wanting to play it a little bit safely here. There is a player boosted into window, and RIT has adjusted accordingly. That mid boost even more prevalent after adding that mid bench. And the adjustment is solid, it's sound, and they're playing very passive off of the sites. You can see it's kind of like a backline defense here, but with the man advantage and all the utility that they have to work with. 30 seconds left on the clock. It's working against Toronto. I like where RIT stands here.
K22 reinforcing that fact, takes down Flycow. 4-on-2, 20 seconds left. Bomb has actually made its way to the 8 set, but who's there to hold him off? It's MJB. He won't find himself 1. He's on a 2. He's on a brace. He'll even find himself a hat trick. And man, that's domination here from RIT. The buy will be so weak on the University of Toronto. They won't be able to muster those AKs with that set of utility to back them up. They'll maybe buy some Mac-10s to get some utility to force him onto his site. But man, RIT, we're talking about a dominant team. It's RIT. We saw domination from Toronto in the first half and even in the first map. But RIT, they come back strong. And that's the resilience, the top resilience of a top-tier team in CSL. And they pull things off nicely, get themselves on a match point again. A weak buy here from Toronto, 4 AKs and a set of utility with a downgraded Galil on GW to see what they can do from this to keep themselves alive. Like out, fly things out here and look to get things underway, but that double Molotov forces them back away, and he knows it as well. There's no chance to take that B site. It's on lockdown, and MJB again battling down towards middle. It's looking for someone to show presence towards Catwalk and just holding that cross. Toronto are very, very slow paced and not too keen to push in towards that crosshair, and they'll slow things down towards middle. And even furthermore, JB missing his shot, backs away, but will be able to keep himself safe and sound. Slow pace from Toronto, and RT Tigers sitting very comfortably right now.
They're in a really good spot. They have everything going for them. And Fly Cow Moose, that's the first player to fall in this round. That's not what you want to see if you're Toronto. Trades going left and right, though. They will accelerate up connector into the A side. They've got a player in ladder who can cut off that B rotation. There are 2 players geared towards that B side and 1 in sandwich here. So Toronto, not in a horrible spot. But the longer they wait, the longer they allow RIT to adjust to their positions. Toronto is hoping that with 40 seconds left on the clock, they can catch somebody rotating. But RIT, they're not blinking. They're going to continue to let that clock work to their advantage. Zav's been relaying the information, the sound cues, over to his team saying, hey, they've cut noise. I'll see them if they're trying to cross A. Now is the time that they'll choose to go, and now is when the rotations will actually start to activate. GW trying to find the entry, but Zav lines up two huge frags, and Lucy finishes it off. RIT solidify the round. 16-9 will be your score line, and we are headed to a mappery, folks.
Well, we predicted it from the start. RIT come all the way back from a 5-0 deficit in the first half. We'll bring it back 16-9 for you. We'll be back with the last and final map and concluding this best of 3 series. Stick around because we're here all night, and this is just starting up to heat up.
You tell me, I don't know why I do more harm than good. Each time I let you, you turn to stone like I'm a Medusa. Need my eyes out before we both break down. 'Cause I'm Medusa. Medusa. I keep moving, don't wanna meet your eyes, 'cause something's wrong. Feels like your love is a lie. Stop and think, maybe you're the bad guy. You say it's me, but why? You think that I wanna let you go. Well, look at me and your eyes and bones. I wish that I knew what was wrong. Could it be you that's wrong? You tell me, I don't know why I do more harm than good. Each time I let you, you turn to stone like I'm Medusa. Need my
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the final map to conclude this insane best of 3 in the round of 16 between University of Toronto and RIT Tigers. Of course, joining me today, I am Sully Cass, and I've got Crack Shut alongside with me to walk us through this final map. It has been a long journey, but we are here. We're finally going to close things out, and man, I could not be more excited for a final map.
With how the first two have gone, I mean, yeah, I'm completely in agreement with you on this one. Train for a decider, though. This is going to test both teams strategically. Mirage wasn't much of a strategic affair, if I'm being quite honest. It was a frag fest, and nothing wrong with that. But this is going to test teams strategically. This is the map where you figure out if your executes are well drilled, if you're able to work cohesively as a unit. And here we go, RIT on the T side, out in towards the yard. It's going to be a heavy A hit, and Zav comes out ladder to find one. Fried gets one, and oh, staying alive, Cal moves. Fly Cal moves, and Fried Pharaoh as well. Oh my goodness, it's a cleanup. I did not expect that to go the way it did.
It was a pretty much just a slaughter again. I mean, these rounds, these kind of opening pistons, we've seen just so much action being thrown at us. I mean, there's been like no methodical plays in every piston that we've seen. It feels like tonight they've just been going head on into the side. Let's battle this out. Let's try and win it. And the CTs ultimately, I'm going to say at least 80% of the pistons we've seen have gone the way of the CTs, and it doesn't change at all here. And RIT Tigers dropping the pistol around on a map like Trade, not too big of a deal, but University of Toronto should be able to accumulate this second round. 5 Glocks, 1 Flashwing to pop themselves out. And they will get their way in towards the ramp position. Fly with 1 can line up a second. Lovely tag, looks for more, and he will have to back away. Nade, however, look at GW. GW will mop them all up with that MP9. It's a janitorial job from a custodian's work. As he mops 2 frags up, the nade as well will drop onto the Molotov to accompany it, and it is just an absolute slaughter. GW with 3. Double from Fly Count and a second round for University of Toronto. Lovely start for them on their CT side, and RT Tigers will chime back in with a strong buy going into the third round.
Yeah, no bomb plant there to speak of. We got a pause here. This pause brought to you by GameStop. Make sure you guys visit GameStopBootcamp.com for your chance to win a trip to the GameStop Performance Center Clinic. I always mix that one up. In Frisco, Texas, where you guys are going to get a chance to hang out with Complexity, train yourselves in CSGO or Fortnite. All you got to do is submit a short video telling us why you deserve to go with your team or your teammate if it's a duo, and we'll fly you guys out there, get you a chance to train like the pros. Of course, also thank you to HyperX for sponsoring Collegiate Star League, making this possible. And last but not least, thank you to each and every one of you beautiful viewers for hanging out with us tonight. It's been a pleasure to cast this series so far, and this should be a banger of a final map once we get back underway.
Well, I'm not going to lie. The Tigers, I would call them the favorites in this matchup. They have the highest seed in all of CSL, and I believe they're actually #1 in their conference, and even furthermore, in the entire league. And going into playoffs, they were heavily favored. I can't even get the words in my mouth to kind of mop every team up and head straight to the LAN finals. But I mean, they've been challenged here by Toronto. Toronto have put up quite the fight on both Mirage and Overpass, and they've been doing quite the work against the RIT Tigers, and they have pushed them to their limits. The question is, how far more can they push them? Can they pull themselves over the edge and close it out here on the third map, or will we see the RIT Tigers prevail nonetheless? And we'll get right back into it. Your questions will be answered as we continue this matchup. Third round coming at you. 2 MP9s for the University of Toronto, and that single scout being carried over from Flycow. So a pretty strong buy coming out from them in terms of utility, and RIT Tigers with a strong buy of their own to try and combat this one.
RIT looking to make this work with the AK's bot. It's a decent buy, all things considered, without bomb plants on both pistol and the follow-up round towards the B site there, courtesy of a nice cleanup job from Flying Cow, Moose, and GW. It's going to be a slow default this time. They do have a decent amount of smokes and mollies here. They can use the mollies to clear out some positions, some smokes. Oh, Farrell, he's actually going to open up onto a player over on the A side, I believe. So that's a great start there for RIT.
Yeah, getting that opening frag, you weaken both sides essentially because you have to play this strange split, which obviously on most maps wouldn't look conventional. But But a 3-1 split for a map like Nuke makes the most sense with 1 towards B. GW has been done a phenomenal job here holding it by himself, and with the scout from Fly Cow, I imagine that's going to soon be upgraded to an op, and that MP9 will slowly evolve into an M4, and that's when it becomes all the more menacing if you're the RIT Tigers, and they are slowing it down here, looking poised to take this A bomb site. Lots of aggression shown, presence in Pop Dog and presence in Ivy, but still not yet to fully commit now as University of Toronto ready and waiting with a 2-2 split at this point in time. Bomb is edged its way up towards upper halls, and RIT poised now to take this B bomb site. Smokes utility being used here. GW, Justin MP9 to work with to shut them down now, and he's got to do so much work. First player starts to make his way into it. MP9 grinds away at 1, but the instant trades 2 for RIT Tigers and only 1 for the University of Toronto. They drop into the site. They'll have it for their takings, but no other trades come back. Fly and both Pharaoh do a phenomenal job with tag as well to Pharaoh, who's finally trades one out here. P250 pulled out to try and take him out, but it looks like the bomb will go down here. And even a swing from K22. A messy round from the RIT side, but inevitably they will get the round onto the board. 2-1, and the clock came right down the wire there, but fortunate enough again. They find themselves on the board. 2-1, Toronto with a week to buy going into this one.
Getting onto the board is good, but the economy being the way that it is, not so much for RIT. Although, from an economic standpoint, it's looking worse for Toronto, who have to go for a half buy here. They have a couple of nades to work with, and those will be tossed directly into T-Con, looking for some damage. Won't find any RIT playing this in a good fashion. I think they kind of realize that there's a chance this is a save, but Zav, it won't matter. He's going to lose his noggin to the dig of GW. GW had a very rough Mirage, and now starting off 5-1 over towards the B site, looking like a pillar of defense. Tough to be taken down. That's a really good sign for Toronto to see him bounce back like that.
Slow start here from both teams. Looks like one ahead will be tapped off. It's a 1-for-1 trade. And for now, though, the side of Toronto, with these pistols, they're playing these close angles, these close cut angles, these close corners where one team swings around, and will be pretty solid for them. RIT Tigers holding pretty adamantly now. They're not willing to risk too much in a round like this, and just want to ensure the fact that they will have this second round. Lucy hearing some movement on the ladder here, but does Lucy expect GW? Doesn't look like it. AK-47 dropped, and it's rounds like these where it really gets me on the edge of my seat, because Toronto, these pistols, we've seen so many times before where the eco rounds work so favorably for the team with the pistols, and now the RIT Tigers edging their way out towards the A bomb site. Molotov in towards Pop. That moves, essentially, that removes 3 players from the scenario. Now they have to go back towards Pop Dog, and a 3-on-3 AK retrieve for GW, but that is just a single AK that they can work around in Toronto. On the retake, a 3 versus 3. Downgraded pistols from Majalko and Fried. And RIT Tigers with so much utility to back them up. This should be a second round for them unless things go horrendously wrong here. And I don't see a world where it happens. GW needs to be clinical with that AK, surgical even, and precise as ever. But Farrell ready for the first will take him down with a messy spray. Inevitably gets it though. And yeah, University of Toronto, they'll back away with the AK, save it for the next round. And it's going to be a second round, an equalizer for RIT Tigers.
The AK will be a nice saving touch, but of course, Fried is trying to find something at the end of this. This is a good response from RIT. Again, like I said, they played the round slow because they weren't aware of whether it was going to be a force buy on the side of Toronto, or that they were going to play the conservative route and go for a solid buy here. So what GW can do is he can actually drop an op off to one of his teammates, and I believe that's what he's going to do. I mean, Train is an opera's paradise. I think we can both agree on that. And so with him having the belt that he has, he's going to drop that op off to Fly Cow, who's been, dragging his team through this series with the help of Fried. Of course, it's a more concerted effort that's going to be needed here on Train. It's a bit of a more difficult map to carry on, but having the op in his hands is definitely going to make that more possible.
Well, speaking of possible, it's possible that University of Toronto can, again, it's back in, I mean, I'm not going to say that it's been one-sided at all in this series. They've been trading grounds back and forth, and it always seems the first half is a lot closer than the second half, where kind of one team just starts to peel away and run away with the win. But I don't know. Train, I can feel a close matchup coming, a close matchup brewing, just seeing it, the rivalry kind of developing between these two teams, Canada and the United States. I almost said North America. Canada's in North America. Yeah, there's just I don't know. I feel like there's a rivalry being brewed here, and in the round of 16, It would have been nice to see both these teams maybe deeper into the playoffs run where they would have faced each other. But, you know, I'm happy to be able to witness this match. And RIT Tigers are slowly progressing out towards T connector. They're looking to make something happen. And flashbang goes in. Farrell crossing back over safely. Slow start for both teams. GW with this AK-47 brought from the prior round is gonna try and take down Zav. That nade's gonna cue him away, and GW has a free range to get that pick. He's gonna take down Zav. That's a cue now for this A execution. They have all this information, Toronto, that it is an A hit. Can they lock it down? As a question, they do a phenomenal job. A triple from the A site players, and it's a shutdown. As now it's just on MJB, and Pharaoh creeping the smoke will get themselves that fourth and final frag. It is gonna be University of Toronto taking the lead back 3-2, and the Tigers shut down completely in that round.
Yeah, this is huge. This is especially considering that they're able to grab a double op setup on the side of Toronto. They'll be able to get an op in the hands of Flycow and Fried. These are your two star players. Of course, it's not looking that way because right now GW, he is the bane of RIT's existence in those brown halls right now. He is playing fabulously. That's a tough position to play because you get caught out once, then you start having to play more passively. You start second guessing yourself. But when you're playing with the confidence that he is and you're reading how the other team is playing, getting all that information for your team and allowing them to play the 4A setup, it could render so much good for your side. And at 7-1, he is showing exactly why. He has been positioned there by his team. Pharaoh and the rest of Toronto are going to clean up a couple of players here on this attempted eco rush. It was going to be a play with smoke sandwich, flash through it, try to get the bomb down. But alas, nothing doing for RIT in Toronto. Doubles up 4-2. Good start from them here. CT-sided map. I'm expecting, 11-4, 10-5. Pretty typical scoreline, I'd say, for Train.
Yeah, well, meta has changed a little bit, right? Tigers, I would say that, yeah, 11-4. Well, obviously, you're the more knowledgeable Counter-Strike player. So, I'll just agree with you. Yeah, 11-4 is a good half, I'd say, from the Tigers. More so is just, icing on the cake of the Tigers with another pistol buy up. Zav, AK in his hand. The rest will just have Deagles and a CZ. Not too much going for them in this round, and I imagine that Toronto will be able to shut this one down comfortably. And, they put a lot of faith in GW anchoring over towards that B youth bomb site, and, he's doing a phenomenal job so far. The fast run that we've seen, he's put up quite the numbers, put up quite the demanding performance, and there's no reason not to have faith in him. They've got an op accompanying him as well. Pretty strong setup for University of Toronto. They're going to use some utility out towards the bomb side Tigers, and tag from Flycow, aggressing with the op to try and finish what he started, but he won't find the shot to take him down. It is going to be a readjustment from him. The rest of RT Tigers are poised to take this A bomb site now with aggression shown. Zav picks up the first, drops Majalko, and they might just reposition back towards B. They're a little bit uncertain now. Again, this kind of seesaw scenario where they don't know if they want to hit B, they don't know if they want to hit A, but it looks like they're going to start to fly out towards Europe. Smoke down from K22. A full execution coming now for the RIT Tigers. And 30 seconds up just at the right time. Pharaoh spots MJB, and he was given. Pharaoh needs to win this duel, and he needs it now. He does so successfully to pick up that AK-47. 3 rifles accumulated for the Tigers. Bomb plant goes down, and now back to 3-on-3 as they're lining the flags up. Pharaoh traded back now on a 3-on-2 man advantage for the Tigers. And the secret round is working out favorably for them. How can they pull this one off, though, here at University of Toronto? So on the leg, Flycow looking for some sort of frag. Zav tag down to 40. The P250 can finish him off, but Lucy's still a menace on full HP. And with that AK-47 and with the rifles accumulated, this should be a save call here from the Toronto side. They're going to get the first frag here, but Lucy in the back of the site does the work that needs to be done, picking up where they left off. And RIT Tigers will find themselves a third round.
Farrell finishes it off, and a solid play from RIT there. They finally found a way to deal with GW. They sold a little bit towards ladder there, and Zav played that really creatively. Shouts out to him for that, because that flash play came in, and that flash that was thrown to send Majalko into ladder to take that one-on-one duel and try to get control of ladder back, that didn't go quite deep enough. But Zav fell back, and he got himself in a good position. So Majalko hears that, and whether it was by design or not, Zav was ready for the fight. When Majalko was thinking he was going to have an easy kill, he did not, and that was really the tipping point. RIT then heads towards the B site, and just like that, they'll find a couple of entries here towards A and B. GW, he's been dealt with, and we'll see if RIT reads into the fact that he's generally been the solo B player. So they take down 2 on the outskirts of the map. RIT 5-on-3.
You know, they've brought it right back in. That single leak around has really given them this confidence, and they've taken it right under their wings, and they're looking to take this A-bomb site once more. RIT Tigers. It is going to be Fried to try and make some aggression happen, but Farrell, he spots the shadow and is able to win that duel. And the Molotov is missed. That delays some temporarily. You can drop a smoke to extinguish it, but yeah, they're gonna be they're fine right now. They don't really care that they're slowed down. They have all the momentum of 5 on 2, but Flycow will get the first, backs away and repositions to take even more. He does find 2 lovely stuff.
No.
He can get 3. Good lord, Flycow, but it is good. The Molotov of all things to take him down. The Molotov, like a hot fire, puts him out. I don't know how he finds those 3 frags, but man, Toronto 4-4. RIT Tigers put up themselves an equalizer, and what a performance from Fly. Well done from him.
I mean, yeah, it was a valiant effort in falling, unfortunately, in Sandwich. RIT, that probably would have been even more dominant. They probably don't drop those 3 bodies if they don't accidentally Molotov themselves out of the bomb site initially. But it will be a save from Toronto here. RIT gets 4 rounds. And, oh, MJB, he's ready for this Ivy play here. This is a good spot to play as an opper. Oh, but Flycow, he's gotten all the way into T-Con, and they've left that unchecked. So he'll take down MJB. Not a kill that's really going to affect the round very much, but one that, well, again, in his head a little bit. That's a frustrating way to die, and Farrell's going to try to hang on to the AWP here. Or he'll toss it right out of the map. Okay, well, that's another way to deal with it. Is he's going to now try to go join up with his teammates who have found a free and clear B site and are likely to try to find a 5th round. Okay, Farrell, he's being hunted. He's been hunted down. Flycow, the second one. And he's just going to drop off the AK. Tells Fried to save, and he'll send himself into the battle once again. Flycow doing it all for Toronto, but not enough on this eco attempt.
Yep, Flycow's going to soldier on and look for more frags. Zav is on the hunt for that AK-47 that Fried is going to try and save it. They might meet Pats here as Zav and Fried just inches away, feet away, yards away, whatever you want to call it. They're right next to each other, and Zav, as soon as he turns the corner, will have a chance. A missed shot from Fried. He needed to win that. I guess the fast swing caught him off guard, and Flycow going into the line of battle or the line of duty will be taken down 4-5. An advantage for RIT Tigers, leading now in Toronto. I mean, that wasn't the worst round, I would say. They do remove that up from plays, so there's a huge financial give there, and you can already see MJB's not going to reinvest. They threw that up out of the map just because they didn't want to have the chance for Toronto could pick it up, so it was a risk, and unfortunately, they won't be able to force up another op in this round. MJB will be settled with the AK-47, and single op removed from play causes some troubles.
Flycow gets an aggressive position on top red. And you're right, the lack of an AWP here, and it's been noted by RIT. Flycow does get one. He went for a leaping play over to the other train, trying to leap to safety, but Majalko, he gets it almost all done here, flicking onto the final player over behind E-Box. That's Zav, as Pharaoh finishes off Fried, and that's going to be a 5-5 tie with Toronto. Now evening things up. Of course, saving 2 rifles, or 3 rather, and being able to drop them over is going to give them a pretty decent buy here, but I wouldn't be surprised if RIT just invests in this fully. I think that's what they're going to do. It's, you know, one player may be relegated to a Galil, but with the Galil buff that we saw recently, and with the economy the way that it is for Toronto, RIT stand a really good chance. If they're able to break the economy of Toronto here, that's gravy. That's a cherry on top for their what's been a really good T side already.
Yeah, I think you said 11-4 is a really good half, and I said anything else is just icing on the cake, and they're adding more and more icing, and it's just starting to pile over in their favor. And Flashbang's in, not going to affect K22. He has a blindfold on and is aware of everything. Takes down Pharaoh, early frag found, and again, an advantage gain. You talked about destroying the economy here of Toronto, resetting them financially, and that's what they're doing here, the Tigers. Prowling around the map, looking to hunt them all down. Jelko, however, will take a close approach, take a close stance up towards the back of red, and we'll look to make something happen, some chaos stir in the side of the Tigers. And in a 5-on-4 with a man advantage lying on the tees, you have to play again this 3-1 split that becomes all the more dicey for this B solo player because he put so much faith in GW to hold it on. And when he's been in just this 1-on-1 or this 1-on-4, 1-on-2 even, I mean, there's not a lot he can do to manage it. Swing in from Flycow. They've caught some rotations over, drawn a 2-2 split. So now the A-bomb site looks so viable. Zav, volley it up here, will be forced to hold back, but he swings out nonetheless. Lines up one, looks for the second, standing in the flames. He's going to get traded out by the Molotov. Dies in the end, but it is MJB. That space created by the single play from Zav has given them the round. It's going to be 3 versus 1, a 6th round gain, and RIT have broken the economy of Toronto, and GW's just some extra casualties to pile on now. Gets the first one traded again instantly by K22. Lovely stop there from the RIT Tigers, and they draw the rotations out and then just obliterate them on the A bomb site. So picking that lead up, Toronto destroyed financially.
Zav doing what must be done there. I mean, he hasn't been statistically the best player on RIT, but he has been making a lot of plays like that. One where, of course, he knew he was going to die to that molly if he swung into it, but in order to win that round, he knew he had to clear off that far side, the CT side of the bomb train, which was causing some problems for the rest of his players who'd made their way out into the yard. And so that heroic play alone, kind of the sacrificial lamb for the round win. RIT breaks the economy, and now just cleaning up the upper hall's push. Fried is left outside on A. We'll get one with the CZ. Has dropped off one of the rifle players as RIT. Once again, they've done this before. They realized that, okay, we killed the upper B stack. GW was amongst those players. There's not likely to be another player here. There is this time. It is Pharaoh, but they'll deal with him quickly. And it's going to be a 7th round going the way of RIT.
Yeah, a really solid round, dropping one player, MJB, that can go on this hunt, but I don't know if they really are keen to do so because, well, their economy, while it is a little bit more boastful than the University of Toronto, isn't necessarily favorable for them. Not the Bill Gates kind of economy you would have liked, and the Tigers will be settling in the nest, settling in their den with the rest of their cubs, whatever it is you call baby tigers. I think it's cubs, but yeah. 4 players surviving, 1 player dropped. MJB will have no troubles reinvesting, and if they want to, they could even invest into an AWP, which is possibly likely in the likes of Lucy's financial situation. But yeah, 7-5. This is a really strong T side from the Tigers, and they've got to be happy regardless of what the outcome is from here on out.
RIT, everything on top of this is going to be great for them. I mean, already 7 rounds on the T side train. That looks really good. And Toronto, it's been a relatively quiet half from them, barring the pistol win. I mean, the inability of them to string rounds together here in important times has given RIT an inch, and they've taken a mile here. 7 rounds in, they've got at least 1 more buy under their belts, up on their side, and none on the CT to speak of. Winning this round's gonna potentially give them 9 even, and win them the half. It'll guarantee them a solid standing heading into the second half of train. And of course, as you guys can see at the bottom of the screen, this is a 1-1 game. So heading into the final half of what's been a barn burner of a best of 3, you gotta like where you stand right now if you're RIT.
Yeah, really strong T side, and that'll be hopefully resonated onto their CT side. And I mean, you said that the CTs obviously have a huge advantage, but maybe it's a flip-flop because I've experienced that quite some time where Nuke T side is always a little bit stronger. Maybe that's the same thing here for Train, but we'll just have to wait and see. Decent buy coming out from Toronto. Obviously a little bit late into the round to call that, but still 1 kit to work with. I mean, the kit does, I mean, nowadays it's kind of become a problem where in that post-plant scenario, you do get into those dicey scenarios, but it doesn't look like that University of Toronto are playing for that post-plant. It's cleaning up 3 players nicely. MJB and Lucy are all that remains. Now, with just so much more work to do, the Legs get onto the B site. It is going to be GW to find something. He does not have a lot of utility to work with to flush them out here, so he does just have that single flashbang to force MJB back. He does catch him crossing, takes him down. It is now a 1-on-4 for Lucy, and Lucy will need some heroics. Kicks us off with a 1-on-3 now. There's an opportunity here presented to him, and now he even gets a second. Lovely stuff from him. And he's looking for more as Lucy posted up here in this post plan. A 1-on-2 corner between 2 crosses is going to get pinched straight out by Fried. Up above is actually going to be Flycow, who takes down Lucy. It will be 6-7, and the University of Toronto can pull things back and make it 8-7. But a lovely performance nonetheless from Lucy to bring it even close. Just barely have enough time, actually.
Yeah, that was a little bit closer than I thought it was going to. You know, Fried did have a kid, but that music sound cue was there, and Flycow Moose ready for it. A huge round from him. Again, like I said in the previous maps, he's kind of the Titan for this side. He's been on this team, I believe, the longest of any of these members, and so much like Farrell, he's kind of the leader of the bunch, or the leader of the pack, if you will, trying to secure his team a spot in the round of 8. We'll see what they can do here. They have found a 6th round, trying to stem the bleeding that has been the CT side so far. Naden's going to do a little bit of damage to MJB.
Yep, pretty solid start here from RIT. Obviously a little bit of damage on MJB. That's not. It's just a light tickle, you know. 21 points of health. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. The rest of the Tigers, though, stacking up again for this B execution a lot. Again, once more rests on the hands of GW. He's been a big factor in the success towards B for University of Toronto, and again needs to come up now. Molotov smokes being used here from the Tigers to draw some rotations down. Nothing, not moving an inch. Here's Fly Cow, a stone statue waiting with this song, waiting for players to walk in. He'll find the first and readjust here to get more. Peeks out for a second. He's been phenomenal on this AWP and is looking for 3 as well. With GW having to reposition, only gets 1. It's a 3rd now from Fly Cow, looking for the 4th. It's Lucy left alone. The bomb is in no man's land. Drops the smoke to allow him to pick himself up here. Bomb is retrieved, and now still so much more work to do. We'll retrieve the bomb and head back up towards Redmond. Inevitably, it looks like go back towards the A bomb site. Maybe a chance at a plant here. But yeah, that op from Fly Cow was just too menacing for the Tigers, and they'll be shut down here towards B and eventually towards A.
Lucy in a 1v4 situation is going to find an open A bomb site. Toronto has played relatively safely, and that's not really a bad thing for them to give up the bomb plant here. There's not a loss bonus built up, and saving the rifles, making sure that they have them going into the final round of the half. Good play from them. They will get the defuse. They will recover some AKs. And 7-7. We're all tied up, folks. Toronto can still make something of this. I mean, 8-7, not a great CT side, but you win pistol, and hey, now you're cooking with gas.
Yeah, well, last round of the first half, we'll see what happens. I'm favoring RIT Tigers still in this matchup. I still believe in them. Tigers come out at night, and they'll start their hunts as a week by. Nice set of utility, however, for them to work with, and it looks like they're going to head back towards the upper halls. Perhaps drop down towards Pop Dog, maybe. Doesn't look like it. Oh, my. No. you saw...
dude. Not like that.
Oh, you saw how he just stood there, too. He's like, oh, man, I messed up. And, well, there's the cue now. GW to manage the workload again, only able to find a 1. And perhaps like how CK has more implications than we could have ever imagined. Because look at Zav cleans them all up nicely low as you on Fly Cow. Karma for him. It'll be an 8th round here for RIT, surely, because Fly Cow, I still can't get over that.
Not that it really helped or anything, because it was a B-side hit by design, and RIT executed it beautifully. But, I mean, you couldn't have hit that shot if you tried. That was some quick reaction time right there. And, of course, RIT will win the half, 8-7. On the back of some great T-side play, they'll head into the CT side with an advantage. That half, of course, brought to you by GameStop. Power to the players. Thank you again as well to HyperX for sponsoring Collegiate Star League. Now, heading into the second half, Sully, Toronto needs to wake up. What do you think they need to do here to get themselves going mentally? I mean, when losing a half on CT side train, going into the T half, you've got a lot of heavy lifting ahead of you. What do you do to kind of counteract that?
I don't know. You just really need to just find a way to mentally reset yourselves, and that's going to be the main goal of them. Not necessarily pick up the pistol round, because right at this half, it's so close between the two teams. 1 round is all that separates, and letting that pistol round still play Toronto, they won't be too upset with that. I mean, they just need to find a way. Perhaps take a tack timeout, a technical, sort things out mentally. If in quotes you spill a drink on your keyboard, but you just need a moment to breathe, and with no room to breathe, things are going to spiral out of control. And if RIT Tigers can start to get into their heads, work a worm into their skulls, and really start to really mess with them mentally, things are going to spiral out of control. And this pistol round, it will spill the tails for the rest of this matchup as University of Toronto. 2 sets of utility in the hands of Fly Cow and a Fry. This is going to be an interesting one because of the fact that RIT Tigers investing a smoke instead of a double flash. I mean, K22, everyone's got Kevlar on them. Lucy, lovely shot. The smoke takes down Fly Cow, and the rest of Toronto will be stuck at a standstill over towards Ivy. Zav repositioning, finds a lovely 1-tap, backs away nicely. Oh. And it looks like it's a slaughter again on this pistol round. Fried, bringing 1 back in favor of them, bringing 2 back. He's making this viable for them. The mental reset starting to come into play here, and he's bringing it back now. But Farrell can trade things out nicely. Majalko in a 1 versus 3, and just the Glock to work with. Headshot immediately, no, not immediately from K22, but inevitably, Majalko's going to get pinched here beside the blue scene. A double for himself. It is a slaughter over on the A bomb site. So 9-7, but still, like I said, Toronto, you can give the pistol, but the question is, can you keep yourselves mentally stable?
I mean, yeah, losing that pistol round, that's got to get in their heads a little bit. I mean, they needed that to really claw back in and get the advantage back in their favor. Now they have to go for, oh no, a late full
what
buy.
is this
Yeah,
buy? What is
yeah,
this buy?
that's what I was saying. Like, the decision needed to be made a lot sooner than that. You can't imagine they have worked out what they really want to do here with this strategy. And they're all over, they're outside in the yard here. The distance rifles from MJB. Gonna find a pair. Zav as well finds a pair of his own, and it's gonna be MJB to finish it off. And see, they bought completely into that, but they didn't have a plan. The late buy in the round, the decision with like 1 second left, or even after freeze time had ended to buy, is just so detrimental. And now they have to go for another save instead of going for that early third round AK buy that netted the Tigers the start to what was a really, really good T half on train.
I mean, that, like you said, that buy is so interesting. It's going to force someone to another save here where they could have maybe had a very strong buy going into it. No bomb plan, like you said, to accompany them. And they could have had rifles going into this one. But yeah, that late buy, that was so wonky. I don't know. University of Toronto losing their marbles just a little bit. The mental game is starting to bite them in the butt here. And they're going to head towards the B bomb site. Lovely nade coming out from the RIT side. The significant damage onto GW, Moose, and Majalko as they ready up for the B hit. It is the single player, the sole proprietor of this B bomb site. Can K22 hold things off is the question. UMP in his hands in a dream. Readying up now. Molotov goes in. K22 has to back away. The Glocks and the P250s seem to be overwhelming him. It is going to be Flycow to get the frag again. Aggressing, looking for more. The FAMAS shuts him down. And a 3-on-4 retake. They picked up the single UMP, but again, it is just one UMP that's put in some work, but it isn't enough. CZ doesn't do much at 11-7. RIT Tigers have found themselves 11 rounds to University of Toronto's mere 7. They will have a bye going into the next one, but finally they will muster something. But RIT Tigers, they're starting to pull away with this half, aren't they?
They're pulling away. 7-11 was a part-time job. And now RIT, they really are in a good spot here. Again, after that weird misbuy on that second round, I call it a misbuy because I feel like if you're going to force into the second round after not having a bomb plan, you better have a plan, especially on train. And not having a plan there, it set them back a couple of rounds here. RIT, with the bonus round weapons, are going to flash into Ivy and go for an information play here. Toronto seems to be ready for it. Oh, and they've directed a lot of attention toward this, but RIT, they looked for the information, they saw nothing, and then they fell back. There's still 3 players here over towards Ivy, so they haven't completely abandoned the position, and they will continue to hold it. Prides is going to catch the edge of Lucy. With the SG, Lucy hops away to safety, and the pressure from Toronto mounting over towards Ivy is going to force out a little bit of utility. Oh, the T-Con players, they're out though. Flycow, he's found one. MJB, a Titan with the FAMAS. Absolutely solid in sandwich here, and is doing a ton of work to net his team the round potentially. The rest of the Ivy players from Toronto, they still haven't even completely made their way up yet. The smoke comes in. Fried and Majalko trying to make their way in. Lucy's going to find a couple of tags on the Majalko. Fried is trying to hunt down Lucy. This is some odd hunting going on here right now. They still know MJB is in a tough position in sandwich. He was stuck between some moving trains there. And, oh, Pharaoh and Frieds should be able to finish off the round here. Toronto getting back on the board, but they forgot the bomb. I forgot the bomb, too, to be fair.
Yeah, I forgot the bomb, and it was very difficult. I mean, this is... I don't know. It's very strange, like you said, and they're able to get this bomb down. They can hardly bear to see this sight of their fallen comrades. I mean, RIT Tigers... Roar will be looking to get away with it. Right? K22, I keep calling him Roar, but he goes down nonetheless. Majalko. And they will find themselves finally around in the first or in the second half, picking up their first 11-8 still. A strong buy from RIT Tigers, investing the up again and reinvesting in MJB, and hopefully things will start to go uphill now for the University of Toronto. This match looked to be going the way of RIT Tigers, but Who knows? The snowball effect has been so prevalent in this match, this entire best of 3 series, that you never know what could happen. MJB with a huge missed opportunity recapitalizes and will seize the opportunity. No pun intended, but 4-on-5 op drop for Pharaoh, and that puts University of Toronto again on the back foot. That single frag has put them stagnant, and they'll just hold on to what they can muster.
Oh, Fried, he's caught K22 jiggling with that smoke, or it's actually a molly rather, and he's forced that out of him. Tagged him up for quite a bit too. I'm not sure if he caught the headshot through the wall there with his SG, but that's a huge, huge piece of damage for Toronto because they forced the molly out towards B. If they group properly over towards that B bomb site, they could find an entry potentially, but RIT have rotated a player over there to try to compensate for the first low player, which is K22. Toronto's refocused their attention outside in the meantime to a site that is far less bolstered. Fly Cow is in a great spot here in ladder, but Toronto, they're going to call the audible. They're going to head over towards B. There's still 2 players here for RIT. They have smoked off the ramp. That should fade by the time Toronto players get here, but Lucy ready and waiting with the smoke. That's going to throw a wrench in the gears here for Toronto as they have to decide, do we flood through this potentially into the crosshairs of our opponents, or do we wait it out? The longer they wait, the longer RIT might catch on to their plan here, as they are still down a member.
Yep, they're getting ready for it now here. Smokes and Molotovs finally will start to come through here. Close up now. It's going to be K22. He finds one, but it's going to go down. That nade from deep takes down GW. And now more problems arise here, but Fried, he manages to load perfectly. Bomb goes down in the nick of time here, and somehow University of Toronto have brought it down to a one-on-one scenario. Off their hooks to Fried, the double from and Zav versus Majalko, a crucial 1-versus-1 for Toronto, and even more so for RIT to bring them to a 12th and keep Toronto afloat financially. It is going to be Zav. He just spins around, gets them on the board once more. It's going to be 12-8, and the RIT Tigers will confident round from Zav, just a careless spin. And he whispers right into his ear, sit down. And it is going to be a 12 round for RIT Tigers and a start for them going into the later parts of this second half in the matchup. And we're getting to a crucial point in time where University of Toronto, they let another round slip away. They will be in the doldrums.
And Toronto will still be able to buy into this round, but if they lose this one, their money not going to be in a great place. They'll probably have to make a save attempt here. That would give RIT theoretically 14. It's the fast outside play. We'll see if it renders any good here. I believe that op shot connected through a wall and tagged up one. Fried is going to finish off MJB, so the opera has fallen. The trades left and right will leave RIT in front. One member, only for a moment's time though. Fried turns on with the scope. And Lucy finishes him off. It's going to be Pharaoh on top. Train going to fall to the flanking K22G. And it is going to be a 13th round for RIT.
Yeah, now we've hit a critical point for Toronto, right? 13 rounds. I always think that 13 is a really menacing number when you're not even on double digits. It's just like the sphere factor, you know? For some reason, it's an unlucky number, you know? So maybe that plays into it. But 13-8, Toronto on the verge of defeat here, getting knocked down and relegated to the lower bracket. We'll need to find something off the pistol round. It's almost a guaranteed 4-3 for RIT Tigers, but the pistol rounds, they're very dicey here at Affair, who keeps himself alive just barely on the brink of death. 9 points of health. Keep himself intact with the Deagle. They'll accelerate out of T-Con and Fly Cow. Lovely Deke shot as I'm saying it. These pistol rounds are so menacing in the hands of these players. Things come out of nowhere. Frag retraded out by Lucy. Gets the 1-for-1, and now Zav managing the load once more. Does it perfectly. Gets himself to, and it's a shutdown again. Leave it just onto Fly Cow. And the 1-on-4. Krieg spray comes in. Farrell will close it out. 14-8, and it's 2 rounds away before we head to match and game point.
This is dire straits for Toronto. I mean, after their performance on Overpass and then the start they had on Mirage, to drop this series to RIT would be a heartbreaker. Of course, it wouldn't be over for either of these teams. They'll be heading to the lower bracket, where they'll have a tougher test at making it to the LAN finals in Las Vegas. But it's been a good best of 3 from both teams. Either way, we'll see how this cookie crumbles here. Toronto, I'm going to stick with the default that they'd been working with in the past. I mean, somehow they managed to make that last default work despite it not going their way in the beginning. So they have faith in their setup, and that's at least a good sign. for Toronto as they play this slowly. Outside control still completely in the hands of RIT. A couple mollies left to work with, a plethora of flashbangs as well. So lots of ability for the CT side to fight, but they don't have anyone anchoring towards Ivy. So GW99, he can put a lot of attention over there. And Fly Cow, he's going to capitalize on the attention being taken away from him. He gets two. Fly Cow Moose going large with the op in Sandwich. And that's going to queue up the hit outside for Toronto. 5-on-3 now. Two members remain both near Old Bomb. MJ going to try to find one. Will find one. Looking for the planter.
Hey, no!
No way. He does get the bomb planter down, and that's going to give them a chance. Oh, GW chiming in and getting Farrell on the flank. K22, an impossible clutch ahead. Fried can get the bomb down free and clear once this molly goes down. They want to really make sure that he doesn't have a chance in this. If you want two players in this situation for Toronto, these are the two, I'd think. Still a very tough task for K22 regardless. And Fly Cow will finish off the three-piece on the round. And he'll find a 9th round for Toronto. They live to fight another day here, and it's going to be a 14-9 scoreline. RIT are going to have to save.
Fly Cow throughout this entire best-of-3 series has been going massive with that AWP, a prodigious opera in his own right, and he just displays it there once more. We saw in the earlier half of, I believe it was Overpass and Mirage, we just saw how great he can be with it, and even in the first half of Train here, I mean, he was going off, and that op is going to be a win factor if Toronto want to bring things back. 14-9, they're on the brink of elimination here and dropping into the lower bracket here. That missile eliminates Sparrow, but Majalko chimes back in with a double here, looking for a triple to make it a hat trick off of the brace. And a turkey as well, as he's just going to hold off in towards Pop Duck. And a 3-on-4, the single CZ is converted to one frag and made the lead from K22. That's blinding fast. These Deagles from both the teams have been ruthless in their killings, and 3 versus 3 acceleration towards outside does get a slight tag K22G, but it is Fried to take the frag nonetheless. It is going to be a 3 versus 2. The rotation is being called out here from Farrell, trying to pull something off of the UMP, but with the downgraded weapon and not a lot of utility to work with, should be University of Toronto storming the site.
Oh, Farrell, he's caught Majalko out, and he's actually going to be able to back away. This is huge from Farrell. He's denied the bomb plant and bought some time for MJB to rotate in with the Krieg that he picked up. They're making something of this round, and up top is Fly Cow. He gets caught out. RIT, how have they done this? How have they managed to make this a 2-on-1? They've got a huge chance at this, and MJB with the Krieg, despite the aim punch, will finish it off. The Krieg recovered. Farrell, a magical play, didn't deny that bomb plant. A bit of an oversight from Toronto to not have somebody covering it, and it's looking like the end of the line for Toronto here in the winner's bracket. RIT, the #1 seed heading in here.
And they're showing just why they're the #1 seed, but it comes down to it. 15-9. They're trying to make it 16 here and close things out. Round 25 being played out, and what more could we ask for? It's coming down to the wire here. The brink of relegation, or the brink of an upset was for Toronto, but now it's gone back to RIT Tigers, where they might just send Toronto to the lower bracket. And this up again, Fly Cow needs to go huge with it. He needs to be his prodigious self, and he might just caught out early on here as MJB. Krieg in hand. It's going to be a full frontal attack again on towards the A-bomb. So they're looking for it, but at MJB, he spots that one, takes him down. Fly Cow with the stop, not having the save they would have liked, and that nade taking just a dink. It's not a lot, but chip damage is all that it'll amass to. Farrell with this Krieg aggressing up towards that sandwich area in between all of those trains. Now as Majalko looks to bring it back, here it is, a shutdown here on the A-bomb side. Look at Toronto, they're stuck, they're stagnant, and they're still as they get their way out of T-Con, but even still, they're lost for words now as Toronto on a 3-on-4. They need to reposition and maybe just find something. The juxtapose between the both of these teams, I mean, there's a clear skill difference between RIT Tigers and Toronto once they've transitioned towards their CT side, and they're just dominating right now. And a 3-on-4 to keep themselves alive and to keep them out of the lower bracket. It's taps away from Zav as he drops Ride to 2 HP. Majalko 118. It seems to be all over here as Lucy can clean up 2. Positioning now to get the second. Fly Cow Moose. It's all over. Zav has closed it out. RIT Tigers advance. And University of Toronto, unfortunately, are dropped to the lower bracket in a pretty dominant second half. 69 RT Tigers, and what a best-of-3 it was.
It was a very fun best-of-3 to watch. I mean, after Toronto took Overpass the way that they did, I did not expect them to fall as flat as they did. About 5 rounds into Mirage, it seemed like it was a completely different team. unfortunately for them, RIT had the resolve tonight, and they had the solid playstyle on Train that rewarded them. The Train the T side from RIT on Train, that was very well concerted. It was a good effort, and the CT side just a little bit disjointed from Toronto, and ultimately it was too little too late for them to mount anything on their CT side. When push came to shove, RIT, they withheld and took Train. So that's going to be it for us tonight, guys. We appreciate everybody who came out tonight to watch the stream. We appreciate everybody who's hung out with us and enjoyed some collegiate Counter-Strike with us. Of course, we'd like to thank our sponsor, GameStop, for helping us out this season. Power to the players. If you guys want to check out www.gamestop.com/esports, you can find out more information about GameStop Performance Center gaming clinics. It's a place where players can train in their favorite games and learn how the players that they love to watch dominate in those games. Of course, you can also go to GameStopBootcamp.com and enter for a chance to win a visit to one of those GameStop Performance Centers, and that's going to be the one in Frisco, Texas. You'll get a chance to meet Complexity, hang out, train, and learn from the best of the best. Also check out GameStop weekly tournaments, and variety of games. Definitely one that you're interested in. I guarantee you guys can sign up for that at cstarleague.com. And thanks to HyperX for sponsoring us and making it possible for us to bring you guys these streams and this league this season. Of course, my name is Crackshot. I've been joined by Sully tonight. It's been a very fun match. Any closing thoughts, Sully?
Nothing much besides these playoffs are looking very spicy. But yeah, that is a wrap. What an insane best three. But we will be back shortly with the next round of the quarterfinals for the CSL, the Collegiate Star League playoffs for Counter-Strike. But that is, again, us signing off. Hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you next time, and have a great night.
Never thought I could feel so low. Never knew how low you could go. So where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Breathing this air while I can, 'cause it feels like every